Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, man, I tell you, Democrats are in trouble. Democrats are in big trouble. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Talk 1470 WNN.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand
That's
tires.
right, they
like
do.
Goodyear and
Welcome,
Firestone
everyone.
at
Welcome.
discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire.
That's right.
Drive.
Good morning, everyone.
Great low price right over the phone. 954
$130 at the tire shop.
954-977-9445.
Good morning. Good morning.
FriendlyTire.net.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of My Pillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat. I would flip-flop all night long.
Thanks for the like. Make sure you subscribe, guys.
Or feel like I needed a nap, even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented My
Good
Pillow,
morning.
I
Good
wanted it
morning.
to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position.
Trying to get
My
comfortable.
Pillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time you spend in bed. It's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry My Pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever.
For a limited time, go to mypillow.com.
Good morning. Good morning.
You two MyPillow premium pillows for one low price. And you will also receive free shipping when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, or call 1-800-716-4879 and give them promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and receive two MyPillow premium pillows for one low price. Again, use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com.
Well, thank you.
1-800-716-4879 for this fantastic offer.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is coming. iWill Advisors has all the education you need to make an informed decision about your plan for you and your family. iWill Advisors specializes in every aspect of Medicare and what options are most likely to help or hurt you.
Here we go. One more quick commercial, and then we're on the air.
Your lifestyle and needs at an affordable rate. Call Debbie at 954-753-8080.
Hey, Nick, what's going on?
753-8080.
Here we go.
Show is brought to you by Attorney Mary Siegel.
Great. I love My Pillow too.
Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with Attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
The Steve Kane Show is live in Morning Drive, 6 till 9 a.m. weekdays, and overnights, midnight to 6 a.m., 7 nights a week. To call the show toll free, 1-800.
All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show on the radio since 1977. Welcome, one and all, to The Steve Kane Show. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We're live in Morning Drive, Monday through Friday from 6 until 9 a.m., broadcasting live on the radio on AM 1470 and 95.3 FM. That's right, 95.3 FM, 1470 on the AM dial here in South Florida. And you can also listen to us on the iHeartRadio app and the TuneIn app, searching for us by our station call letters, WWNN, 2 W's, 2 N's. And we have an overnight rebroadcast 7 nights a week, midnight till 6 a.m. Oh, boy, I tell you, Bernie Sanders yelled at a baby yesterday. Oh, my goodness. Oh, have you seen this on the news? Mainstream media covering this? We'll share it with you. We'll talk about it. Very bizarre. It should be a career ender. But, you know, Democrats can do whatever the hell it is that they want to do. Bernie Sanders yelled at a baby, and he talked about population control in underprivileged countries and third world. I mean, it's going to go crazy what's going on with these Democrats. We got Stolen Valor, Mayor Pete yesterday. None of these stories are out there. We'll talk about them all. And also, did any of you catch this very pathetic climate change town hall with the presidential candidates on CNN? You know, I've gotten to the point now where I don't believe that the Democrats believe in climate change. I'm talking about the ones running for office. I'm not talking about you idiots out there that vote Democrat. And yeah, I know. I don't think they believe it. I think that they are void of issues. They have a bunch of children like the commie bartender AOC running around, and Mayor Pete. He's got a deep voice, but he's a kid too. They got a bunch of children in their party who think it's real, and they just say these things about climate change to get the crowd all riled up. I mean, how could you believe in this? It's bizarre. I'm going to play some clips from that last night. And Judge Jeanine, oh my gosh, Sebastian Gorka, he did something that wasn't very smart with Judge Jeanine. So we got a lot of things to talk about on the radio today. Your thoughts, your calls are welcome. 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. And of course, we've got to pray for the Bahamas, in particular here in Florida, where we have a close connection to the Bahamas. The Bahamas, 50 miles from Florida. It's crazy how close the Bahamas are. I don't think people outside of Florida realize how close the Bahamas are to Florida. 50 miles, that's it. Yeah, 50 miles to Bimini. And I've been there many, many times, as most Floridians have, or at least the ones I know, and it's terrible. They've got this death toll of 20. I can't believe it's only 20. If it's only 20 people, it is a miracle. But the Bahamas are done. I mean, it's terrible what happened in the Bahamas. And we've got to pray for them. And there's a lot of help being offered by the president and by Florida. And here in Florida, be prepared for a rush of Bahamians. But you know, when it comes to people from the Caribbean, even, you know, not everyone in the Caribbean's black, by the way. There are Hispanics. There are a lot of white people in the Bahamas. But when it comes to blacks from the Caribbean, they are very conservative people. There's a lot of blacks from the Caribbean in Florida, immigrants, and they are like Republicans. You know, it's not like American blacks that have been brainwashed into all of these things. So the Bahamian people, you know, the Bahamian people, unlike the government in Puerto Rico, I just have a suspicion that the Bahamian government is not corrupt like the thieves that run Puerto Rico. That when the relief arrives, it's starting to arrive now, but as the relief continues to arrive in the Bahamas, I just don't think the Bahamian officials are corrupt thieves like the Puerto Rican officials. I don't think they're going to be stealing everything. I don't think we're going to have pallets of food and water and other supplies just sitting in warehouses like we have like we had in Puerto Rico because they're so corrupt down there. But it's just terrible. And during the hurricane the last few days, when I just saw it over to the Bahamas for so long, I was just an awful thing. So we will be praying for the Bahamas. And no, this hurricane was not caused by men or climate change or global warming or whatever you're calling the scam right now. Oh man, I tell you. You know, this climate change town hall on CNN last night, I was almost embarrassed for these Democrat presidential candidates and the things that they say. You know, Beto, I don't understand why Beto, how is Beto still in the race, but Gillibrand isn't? Can someone explain this to me? Why is this guy, why is Beto there? And Beto, in this town hall last night, was talking about a conversation he had with his 8-year-old son, which I don't know, did it happen in person or was it on the phone or FaceTime or something? But listen to this bizarre conversation Beto says he had with his son.
Son Henry, who's 8 years old. When I was talking to him the other night, he asked me, Dad, if you win and you become president, we get to live in El Paso, right? And I said, no, if we win the way this works, we would live in Washington, D.C. But he knew, because I had told him about the warming that we face, that our community will be uninhabitable, will not sustain human life along this current trajectory unless something dramatically and fundamentally changes.
Okay, yeah, okay, so that's Beto told his 8-year-old son that imagine this, at 8 years old, he told his 8-year-old son that El Paso, Texas, where he lives and goes to school and where all of his friends are and his whole world as he knows it are located, that El Paso very soon, that's right, will not be able to sustain life. That's amazing. That's amazing. You know, if, you know, and the reason I play this, I'm not debating climate change. It's a lie. You all know it's a lie. If someone believes it's true, call and explain to me what I'm missing here. I know we got liberal loons in the audience. If he were a serious candidate, which he's not, but he's treated as a serious candidate, isn't he? He's at every debate. He's at all the town halls. CNN has him there. They got him all the time. Oh, I'll get to Gorka and Judge Jeanine. Gorka's I like Sebastian Gorka, but when it comes to radio, he's an amateur, and he made a big mistake yesterday with Judge Jeanine. I'll get to it. Don't worry. I'm here till 9, people. I can't go through everything in the first 10 minutes I'm on the air. What am I going to do for the next 3 hours? You know, come on. He's treated by the media as a serious candidate, Beto. He's at every town hall. He's at every debate. They have him in studio on CNN. They follow him around. They have rallies for him. If he were a serious candidate, he said on really a global television, because CNN is international, Beto said last night on national television that El Paso, Texas, shortly will not be able to sustain human life because of climate change. If people in El Paso took Beto as a serious person of credibility, what would they do? Well, first off, it would devastate the economy because people would leave. What would it do to property values if El Paso, Texas, where he's from, where his family lives, and I guess he stops by on occasion, if El Paso, Texas took Beto seriously, there would be a massive sell-off of property because you've got to sell your home and commercial property before everybody else starts doing it. Why would you stay in a city and pay a mortgage on a home or a commercial property in an area that will not be able to sustain life shortly, as Beto says? You'd sell, you'd get out. Property values would drop. New home sales that'd be done. They wouldn't be able to sell houses. The city would be in economic chaos if El Paso took Beto as a serious person. Okay? So when El Paso's economy is not affected, when their hometown boy, Beto, says the city will soon not be able to support human life, that tells you he's not a serious candidate. So why is the media so in love with this goofy goober dork? Reminds me of some of the surfer skateboard kids when I was in high school and middle school. All he's missing is a pair of parachute pants or something, and then it'd be a major throwback. But he's not a serious person, Beto. It really amazes me. But you know what? None of these candidates are serious people. And I'm going to play some clips of the Democrats today on the show from the climate change CNN town hall, not to debate climate change, but to show you that none of these people have credibility. Not one of them is a serious person. They're a bunch of clowns. I mean, this is the Beto comment.
Son Henry, who's 8 years old, when I was talking to him the other night, he asked me, Dad, if you win and you become president, we get to live in El Paso, right? And I said, no, if we win the way this works, we would live in Washington, D.C. But he knew, because I had told him about the warming that we face, that our community will be uninhabitable, will not sustain human life along this current trajectory unless something dramatically and fundamentally changes.
Okay, now Beto, in his fantasy where he becomes the president, he moves his family to Washington, D.C. If climate change is going to make El Paso incapable of supporting life, wouldn't Washington, D.C. be flooded by the Atlantic Ocean pouring in through the Potomac? Of course, they didn't ask him about that on CNN. They had no follow-up on that. You're just supposed to ponder the brilliance that is Beto. I don't get the fascination with him by the media. I know a lot of the female reporters have a thing for him. You know, I've seen some of these female reporters. I thought they were going to, take care of him when he was there, if you get my drift, in some of these interviews. All right, so Sebastian Gorka really made an amateur mistake on the radio yesterday with Judge Jeanine. I hope it doesn't cause her any trouble. I'll share that with you when we get back and a whole bunch more. My name's Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, mom and dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523-4325. This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325. If your loved one refuses treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option, from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a licensed therapist, as well as group therapy treatment. It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for you. Call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561
it's pathetic. They're pathetic.
523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone. 561-523-4325.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is coming. I Will Advisors has all the education you need to make an informed decision about your plan for you and your family. I Will Advisors specializes in every aspect of Medicare and what options are most likely to help or hurt you. And that way you can get a plan that fits your lifestyle and needs at an affordable rate. Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Denture wearers, are messy adhesives ruining the taste of your food? Is it painful for you to eat? Does the constant denture movement affect your speech? Are you always worried that your
Hey, Robin, well, I'm in Florida, too.
While you're talking or laughing? Do you have sore spots? You are not alone. These are common problems that can be solved simply with dental implants. This is Steve Kane, and I want to introduce you to Brighton Dental Care, where the Kane family goes for all our dental needs. Brighton Dental Care doesn't want cost to stop you from being able to eat the foods you love again. can and live in comfort. That's why, for Steve Kane listeners,
The weather's
we're offering
perfect.
Implants, get this for
Perfect.
just
It was perfect yesterday, too.
$3,500. That includes 2 implants plus a lower denture. Now, if you go to a dentist in Boca,
Have you noticed the hurricane hasn't made landfall yet? I've been telling you.
For the exact same implants and denture. That's right, $6,000. But at Brighton Dental Care, just $3,500.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful out. Perfect day. Yesterday was a perfect day, too.
Laugh and live with confidence. Call Brighton Dental Care at 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633, and online at BrightonDentalCare.com. Be sure to ask about special discounts for our military veterans.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Search for WWN.
All right, welcome everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. You know, our listeners around the country and the world keep asking me how we're doing in Florida. We're fine. The weather's perfect. Yesterday was a perfect day. You know, I have no hurricane shutters on my house any longer. Took them down. Well, I finished taking them down yesterday, but just because it was a little too lazy. Most of my neighbors still have theirs up because they're lazy. They'll come down over the weekend. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. Hey, the hurricane hasn't touched land yet, has it, either, in the mainland United States? I told you, it's all fake weather news. Fake weather news. All right, welcome back. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I like Sebastian Gorka. We've had him on the show. I like Sebastian Gorka. He's a good guy. Okay, I got a lot of respect for him. But when it comes to radio, he's an amateur. And this is the second time I've seen Sebastian Gorka, because he's an amateur when it comes to radio, run into some problems. He a few weeks back, maybe even a couple of months ago, I played the audio on the air, I believe. I might have done it on my podcast. I don't remember. On one of the shows, either my podcast or here on the radio. He had a crank caller call in who just wiped the floor with Sebastian Gorka because he's just not equipped. And then yesterday he had Judge Janine on, and he was talking to her during the break, and she said some things about Fox News Channel that she didn't know were being broadcast out over the air. And there is a rule of thumb in radio. I'll play you the audio in just a second. The rule of thumb is that no matter what, if there's a microphone around, you assume that it's on. You assume that it's on. You don't say anything in a room with a microphone that you wouldn't say on the air. And, you know, we do our live streams. Yeah, by the way, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube, live streaming on YouTube. No more Periscope. I'm done with Periscope, deleted the app. Brian Craig on YouTube, live streaming on the radio every day. I also upload my podcast to YouTube, Brian Craig on YouTube. During the break, Steve and I talk, and we may talk in a way we wouldn't talk on the air, but you don't catch us saying anything we really wouldn't say on the air. You might think you do sometimes, but you don't. Because if there's a mic around, no matter what, you assume it's hot and on the air. After the show, Steve and I will have meetings, sometimes we'll talk business. I unplug the microphones. Steve unplugs his, I unplug mine before we have any conversations. Because you never know. You never know. I know you might think I'm paranoid, but no, that's just smart. And Sebastian Gorka, who is a great guy. I love Sebastian Gorka. I've never heard him say anything I disagree with. He's a great guy. I love him. We've had him on the show. But when it comes to talk radio, he screws up all the time because he's an amateur. And he's like us, okay? He broadcasts live on the radio, and he also live streams on YouTube. And he talks during the break, and he had Judge Janine on the phone on the show. They go to a commercial break, and he starts having a private conversation with Judge Janine for the people watching the live stream online to hear. I'll play you this in a second. Now, she was on the phone. He did tell her they're in a break, but they're still on YouTube live streaming. But Judge Jeanine wasn't in the studio. She was on the phone. She didn't hear it. And what he was trying to do was have an off-the-air conversation for the live streaming viewers to try to let them get a behind the scenes. And Judge Jeanine said some things about Fox News that I don't think she would have said if she knew she was out there. But so, Gorka knew. Okay, so they're calling this a hot mic incident. I saw this online this morning. Here's Sebastian Gorka, Judge Jeanine, who's, I don't know, she might be in some hot water at work at Fox News Channel. Listen.
We'd love to have you in studio.
Oh, I love it. I would love it.
All right.
See if they'll let me. You know, Fox reviews everything. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, but you got a window, like because you've got a new book. You should have a carve out, right?
No. They are still saying you cannot do Bill O'Reilly, you cannot do Newsmax, you cannot. Oh, no.
Well, that's a
And
shame.
you know what? They suspended me, and I'm not going to get fired. You know,
Keep-
I'm worried that suspension was the basis to tee up for anything I do off the fire.
Keep doing what you do. Keep doing what you do. We are back in 90 seconds. Stand by, Janine. Stand by.
Oh, boy. So Judge Jeanine confirmed she was suspended for the Omar comments. She said that Fox News will not allow her to go on Bill O'Reilly's show, Newsmax. She can't go on Newsmax and other places. And she's afraid that the suspension was just to gear up to fire her, which she obviously fears may happen. Oh, my goodness. Poor Judge Jeanine. Sebastian Gorka screwed up with that one. And I hope Judge Jeanine, and by the way, that's online. A lot of websites are carrying that. So, you know, just so you guys know, it's out there. Believe me, Fox News Channel is aware of it. And Judge Jeanine confirming that Fox News, who Donald Trump says we shouldn't be watching anymore, Judge Jeanine has confirmed that Fox News not only suspended her, but she believes they want to fire her and are basically looking for an excuse. Wow. I mean, that's absolutely insane. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That is our number. 1-888-465-2631. Let me play one more time for you guys, and we'll take some calls.
We'd love to have you in studio.
Oh, I love it. I would love it.
All right.
See if they'll let me. You know, Fox reviews everything. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, but you got a window, like because you've got a new book. You should have a carve out, right?
No. They are still saying you cannot do Bill O'Reilly, you cannot do Newsmax, you cannot do. Oh, no.
That's a
And
shame.
you know what? They suspended me, and I'm not going to get fired. You know,
Keep-
I'm worried that suspension was the basis to tee up for anything I do off the fire.
Wow, I'm worried that it was a tee up to fire me for anything they deem I do wrong. Oh my goodness. Sebastian Gorka. Boy, what a screw up that was, Gorka. I love Gorka though. Gorka's awesome. Good morning, you're on the radio. Yes. Come on. You can do better than this. Come on. Come on. The sound of silence? Come on. You got to give me something. If you're going to crank, you got to do something. Oh, man. Yeah, and, you know, she will eventually be gone from Fox. That tells you everything you need to know about Fox. I have stopped watching the cable news. I really have. I have stopped watching the cable news, especially Fox. I don't watch it. You know, when I really had my fill of Fox was just the other day when Neil Cavuto said, "We don't work for you, Trump." That was it. I'm done with Fox News. And you know what? You should be too. The cable news is a poison in our society. It's a complete poison. Nothing positive comes out of it. Okay? Fox News used to be the most trusted name in news. Can you trust them anymore? You can trust One America News. You know, Roy, you're going to get banned if you stop talking about my pillow. I'll block you. Fox News is not an alternative news source anymore. The reason that Fox News became popular, you know, Fox News has been around since 1994, but nobody watched it. Not very many people until the 2000 recount, okay? And the 2000 recount is when Fox News became number one and stayed number one. I'm not saying that none of you watched it and it wasn't seen, but it became very popular after the 2000 recount because the rest of the media had this left-wing thing and they were reporting the truth. And Fox News was made number one after the 2000 recount because people were seeking out an alternative source of news. Okay? And they're no longer what they used to be. And, you know, I think what may have happened over at Fox, everybody blames Shepard Smith, and certainly he's a symptom. Anytime something becomes big and influential at that level, the establishment move in and take it over. Whether it's the internet, whether it's social media, whether it's Fox News. They didn't care too much about Fox News until it became the number one name in news and became very influential in millions of households every day. And then that's when the establishment moved in and did what they did to it. Okay? You know? And yeah, Roger Ailes was a scummy guy with the ladies, but you know what? They had a similar problem over at the Today Show. I haven't seen any big they got rid of Matt Lauer. That was it. And this goes beyond Shepard Smith. Shepard Smith's a villain, don't misunderstand me, but it goes beyond that. Okay? He's what they've brought in to try to do something about it. But I don't watch Fox News Channel anymore. And you know what? You shouldn't either. And that little moment there with Judge Jeanine confirms our worst thoughts about Fox News Channel. They are not what they appear to be. They're worse than MSNBC. They're worse than CNN. And the reason Fox News is worse than CNN or MSNBC is because Fox is pretending to be something they are not. We know what CNN and MSNBC are all about. They don't hide it. They don't pretend. They're biased. They're to the left. And they're not ashamed to admit it if you watch their programming. Fox News is pretending to be something they are not. They cannot be trusted. And they're according to Judge Jeanine, they're looking to fire her. For what? What did Judge Jeanine do other than have a close association with our great president, Donald Trump? All right, 34 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back after this. Yeah, Roy, I let fly what you said yesterday about my pillow, that no more warnings. If you say anything else about my pillow, you will be blocked and banned. You can have all the American flags you want on your icons. I don't care. You can't do that. Be right back, guys.
On the west side of State Road 7 in the Penn Dutch Plaza. Speak with Al. He's the owner. Tell him what supplements you were looking for, and he will be more than happy to get you the supplements you need. Save-A-Lot Nutrition Centers, 754-307-1655. 754-307-1655.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you
welcome everyone.
Give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Plus tax tag title and includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 9/10/19. Get super savings on over 1,500 Toyotas during our 2020 Supra sale.
Not really.
At Toyota
Not really, Randall.
Hollywood. Toyota
A couple.
Hollywood has one of the largest
But it's not the
selections
same
of
because you don't have the
2020 Supra
anonymity
Wedge
you have
editions
on
in the
Periscope.
country. Plus, we're selling 2019
There's always
vehicles
trolls.
up to 50%
Always
less than
trolls.
the original MSRP
But
when you
not to the
lose
same degree.
50%
No matter where you go. If we weren't live
2019
streaming, you got trolls on the phone.
Not 26,000.
Yeah, they're homeless trolls. That's right.
April 2019 Corolla LE. Not 22,000. 13,775. Get super savings during our 2020 Supra sales event at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 for SET on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is coming. I Will Advisors has all the education you need to make an informed decision about your plan for you and your family. I Will Advisors specializes in every aspect of Medicare and what options are most likely to help or hurt you. And that way you can get a plan that fits your lifestyle and needs at an affordable rate. Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753.
Newsmax isn't all that bad, except no one watches it.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by
It doesn't work that way, Sandra.
At the Siegel Law Group.
You just can't go hop and jump over.
Living Trust. $350
People don't
for
understand.
single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give
I've
you
never been to the Holy Land Experience. I've wanted to go. I saw a new video on YouTube of the Holy Land Experience in Orlando. I didn't even know it was still there. It looks absolutely amazing. I might go there one day and do a video. I might go up there one weekend.
FLA 3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All righty, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. You know, this thing with Judge Jeanine. So Judge Jeanine says that Fox News is looking to fire her. It's terrible. And I see a lot of people in the chat are saying, well, she can go to Newsmax, she can go to One American News. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And the thing about broadcasting is there's a thing called non-compete contracts. And when you have a contract and you work for someone in broadcasting, and even if they fire you, you just can't go work somewhere else. And some of these non-competes are insane. I knew a guy that did traffic. And he had a contract with the company, you know, because traffic on radio, you know, you hear the traffic reports. We don't do them, but, you know, waste of time. But the traffic reports you hear on the radio, oftentimes, depending on the station, is not the radio station. There are services. There are companies that just do traffic, and they do traffic reports for multiple radio stations all over the country. And they're not flying around in helicopters or airplanes or anything. They're just in a studio like I am getting reports from someone else. And there was a guy I knew that was a traffic reporter for one of these traffic companies, and they fired him, and he had a 2-year non-compete. Couldn't work for 2 years. Can you imagine? I remember when Steve and I were at Clear Channel, they sold our radio station, right? And when they told us they sold the radio, we knew the station was getting sold long before. And Steve, we knew months before, almost a year before, because a radio station sale takes about 9 months to a year to be approved and completed and everything. And we got tipped off almost a year early. And about 6 months before the sale, Steve had already worked out our arrangement that we have currently here at this radio station because we knew it was coming. And they sold our radio station. And, of course, the company let everyone go because a new company changed the format and everything. And I remember I wasn't on the air that much then like I am now. I was on the air just a little bit, not very much. And the program director, he called me in and he says, well, yeah, the station's been sold. We're letting everyone go. He had talked to Steve right before me. Steve went in and had his meeting. And then I was in the hallway and I was next. And he said, well, I know Steve has set up a new arrangement over at 1470 AM, but you have a non-compete contract for 9 months and you can't go and work with him there. I wasn't even really on the air at the time, not much. And I said, no, I don't have a non-compete. And he says, oh, yes, you do. You signed a non-compete. I said, no, I never signed a non-compete. I'm going to work with Steve tomorrow over there. And he said, no, you've got a non-compete. I said, show it to me. Show it to me. His name was Peter Bolger. And Neil used to talk about him all the time. Neil hated Peter Bolger. But you know what? Probably everybody did. I did. And he was a no talent, couldn't make it on the air. So he became a program director and spent his days terrorizing on-air people because he could never make it on the air. But anyway, he was like pig vomit in the Howard Stern movie. I said, show it to me. And he looked through my employment file, and he said, oh, I guess you don't have one. And they gave everyone an order to sign non-competes months before. And Steve told me, don't sign it. Just ignore it. Don't sign it. Don't sign it. Don't send it in. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. And Steve, they put the screws to Steve. They didn't pay Steve for over a month. The company didn't pay him. They held his paychecks to try to strong arm him into signing the non-compete. And eventually they just gave up and gave him his check, and he didn't sign the non-compete. Me, I just fell through the cracks because I was small time then. I'm not small time now, right? I'm big now. Yeah, that's right now. But I just fell through the cracks and got through it, you know. And but that's how it is in broadcasting. And everyone that has a contract has a non-compete. So if Judge Jeanine got fired by Fox, as she says they want to do to her, she can't go work at One American News. She can't go work at Newsmax or anywhere else for whatever period of time the non-compete is. It could be a year. It could be 2 years. It could be 6 months. I don't know. But she has one, and that's what they do. You know, everyone in broadcasting wants a contract. Contracts... people that are like in the talent end of things, they all want contracts. Contracts don't help you. They help the company. The contracts are meant to enslave you and control you. Because if Judge Jeanine did not have a non-compete, she would tell them where to go and she'd be over somewhere else tomorrow. But you can't do that. That's how it works. Remember, Megyn Kelly had about a year or so non-compete when she left Fox before she could go and start her show that later failed at NBC. Remember? You know, so no, don't. No, Judge Jeanine, she wants to stay on Fox. Plus, she's got a huge number of viewers there, and not everybody can get One American News. I had to switch from AT&T Uverse. I don't have One American News now. I can download the app on my phone. But yeah, contracts are bad news, and Judge Jeanine, and you really got to ask yourself, why are you watching Fox News Channel? Now, Steve still does, and the reason that Steve watches Fox News Channel is because he doesn't use the internet as a news source like most of us do. If he was online, he wouldn't be watching Fox either. Okay, but why are you watching it? There's what a big Star Wars fan I am. I'm a huge Star Wars and Star Trek fan. I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt right now as I speak, right? For the Han Solo movie that came out a while back. There's a big movement among Star Wars and Star Trek fans to boycott future Star Trek and Star Wars movies and television shows. That, and it's, I'm telling you, and it's called We Reject. Okay, because no respect, we reject. And there is a huge movement of Star Wars fans that are boycotting this Star Wars movie that's coming out in December. I'm not. I've heard some plot leaks, and if one of them I heard is true last night, I will never again watch anything that J.J. Abrams touches. There's this new Star Trek show, Star Trek Discovery, on CBS All Access. It's such an insult to Star Trek and Star Trek fans. When I saw the season finale this last year, I was physically upset and visibly angry. I've never been angry at something before because of what they've done to my Star Trek. And when the next season starts, If it's more of the same, I will not watch it. And I'll cancel my CBS app and everything else. And that's what I've already done with Fox News Channel. See, with Star Wars and Star Trek, I don't have a lot of alternatives. Although there's a new Star Wars television series coming to this Disney live streaming app called The Mandalorian that looks to be some of the most incredible Star Wars I've ever seen. But regardless of that, I have no alternative for Star Trek. Okay? CBS owns the Star Trek television rights. They produce crap shows. I don't have an alternative. When it comes to news, I do. Right? With news, I do. So Fox News shows no respect to the viewers that made it number one. I mean, think about this. The Steve Kane Show is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida. That's a fact. On the radio since 1977. We have a great amount of respect, Steve and I, for the listening audience. A huge amount of respect for you. Because you're the consumer of this program. If all of a sudden we started disrespecting you, would you continue to support this show? Of course not. We wouldn't even occur to us to do that. But that's what Fox News has done. Fox News is disrespecting you. You made them number one in cable news because of the product they were putting out. They were not mainstream news. They were an alternative to that. We report and you decide. They don't say that anymore. They dropped that. The most trusted name in news. They're no longer any of the things that they were. They had a brand. It meant something, and it doesn't any longer. That's why I'm out. With no respect, we got to reject, just like this Star Wars movement that I'm telling you about. Okay? And that's how I feel about it. And when I hear Judge Jeanine say that Fox News wants to fire her and she thinks they're planning on firing her and they've set the stage to put things in motion to fire her, how can you support that? Now, I'm not telling you not to watch Judge Jeanine. I think Judge Jeanine is spectacular. I love her show. Okay? But I don't watch Fox News any longer. I don't watch it. Now, a lot of you may say, well, you watch CNN and MSNBC. Not as much as you think. Okay? That is a lot of show prep. Okay? To do a talk show, a radio talk show that's interesting, we're not the news, so we're not reading facts. Today, at 0600 hours, the AP is reporting. That's how we talk about things. And what you talk about are things that you want to talk about, people and things you disagree with, things that piss you off, things like that. Okay? So we're not the news. It's different what we do. But I don't sit in front of my television and watch CNN or MSNBC. Sometimes I'll turn it over there and catch something, but most of the time I'll hear about something online that happened on The View or happened on CNN or MSNBC, and then I'll go online and pull the audio off for you. Okay? I'm not sitting around watching this all day. But what Judge Jeanine said to Sebastian Gorka means something to me. Okay? All of our fears about Fox News are true, confirmed by Judge Jeanine, who's probably in all kinds of hot water right now. We give Steve a break. Steve doesn't use the internet, so we'll give Steve a break. If he was online with the news, he would do something different. But he gets his news from television still, so where's he going to go? He does, he won't watch One American News. He won't watch One American News. So he watches Fox. But most of you out there get your news and information from the internet, so why support what they're doing? I wonder what would happen if all of a sudden they weren't number one. Fox News. CNN and MSNBCs don't seem to care about ratings. Would Fox News care? If Fox News all of a sudden slipped to number 2 or 3, do you think they would change up what they're doing? I don't think so, because I think it's now all agenda-based. It's all about Trump and undermining Trump. Oh boy, I looked at the clock. I got to take a break. 10 before 7, I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Sole Authority. With the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic.
That's right. They don't care about ratings.
Before they begin.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a little hard on Gutfeld. I listened to his show for his weekend show about a week or two ago for the first time on the weekend. I thought it was pretty funny.
7060 or online at thesoleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be
I don't think so.
Steve Kane's tires for a Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car.
I wouldn't say he's hilarious.
$135 at the tire shops around town.
No, he's not.
Friendly
Dave
Tire,
Chappelle
only
is hilarious.
That's more than a 50%
Not Gutfeld.
savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry.
Hey, Sarah, what's going on?
I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever.
For a limited time, go to MyPillow.com, and Mike will give you 2 MyPillow premium pillows for one low price. And you will also receive free shipping when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Well, you're smart.
Or call 1-800-716-4879 and give them promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. And receive 2 MyPillow premium pillows for one low price. Again, use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com or 1-800-716-4879 for this fantastic offer.
Make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube, all right? Subscribe and click the notification bell.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is coming. Will Advisors has all the education you need to make an informed decision about your plan for you and your family. Will Advisors specializes in every aspect of Medicare and what options are most likely to help or hurt you. And that way you can get a plan that fits your lifestyle and needs at an affordable rate. Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. Listen to the Steve Kane Show.
All right, I'll play it again. Some people are asking me. All right, some people are asking me here during the break what's going on with Judge Jeanine, and they played this clip again. I played it earlier for people that are just waking up and turning on the radio. You know, you guys don't set your clock to 5:55 so you're up, ready, and awake when I come on the air live. Come on, shame on you, people. Shame on you. Just let me recap, and I'll play it again so those that are just waking up can hear it. Judge Jeanine was a phone guest on Sebastian Gorka's radio show yesterday. He was talking to her during a commercial break that was being streamed through his live streaming during the break. She didn't realize that what she was saying was being heard still by anyone other than Sebastian Gorka. Sebastian Gorka screwed up. It's a hot mic incident. And she said that Fox is looking to fire her. So let me play this. This is Judge Jeanine with Gorka yesterday, the hot mic moment that led to this discussion I've been having.
We'd love to have you in studio.
Oh, I love it. I would love it.
Right.
See about nothing. You know, Fox reviews everything. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, but you got a window, because you've got a new book. You should have a carve out, right?
No. They are still saying you cannot do Bill O'Reilly, you cannot do Newsmax, you cannot do. Oh, no.
That's a
And
shame.
you know what? They suspended me, and I'm going to get fired. You know, I'm worried that suspension was the basis to tee up for anything I do wrong to fire.
Okay. So she is on really like a probationary period. So she told Gorka there when she didn't know she was on the air. Gorka did. Stupid move. I love Gorka, but bad move, Gorka. I hope he doesn't do something like that again. She said she confirmed she was suspended over that Omar thing. Now, I don't know if she gets suspended today because Omar's really getting called out big time today for some problems. But she said she believes it was a tee-up to have an excuse to fire her for anything they deem she does wrong from this point forward. So she's got to be very careful, including be very careful about which shows she goes on. I mean, that is something else. That's Fox News. And, you know, the CNN and MSNBC don't care about ratings. And Fox News is number one, and someone during the break says, well, Fox would care if the ratings went down because of the commercial revenue. I don't think so. I think if Fox's ratings went down dramatically and they had to charge less for their commercials, I don't think it would change anything they do, because in these news organizations are owned by huge corporations, international corporations, right? Who have so many different interests in everything. And one thing that these corporations do by owning media is try to control the narrative about everything and get agendas accomplished. Most of these companies, these big corporations that own news, are not in the news business for profit through the news directly. What they want to do is get people concerned about this, concerned about that, get this person elected, that person unelected, and that's how the companies make their profits. And these international corporations that own the mainstream media, do you think they're happy about these trade wars going on between the U.S. and China? No. Their whole business model are through these out-of-balance trade deals that screw over the United States in favor of these other countries around the world. Okay? You know, so there's all kinds of interest. So no, I think if Fox News ratings tanked and their ad revenue went down, I don't think they would change what they're doing. CNN never has seemed to change what they're doing based on this. And MSNBC, who are so far behind, they don't make any change. I mean, look at Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow's ratings tanked even among liberals after the Mueller report cleared Trump. They made any changes to her show? No. The media don't care about that. They don't care about that. They're trying to get a narrative and an agenda through. They're not in the for-profit business. I know that sounds insane, but it's true. You've heard news doesn't make money. It's a loser. That's because the companies, they don't mind. They write it off. It's a loss. They write it off as a loss, these corporations. They don't mind it at all. It's not about profit. So no, I don't think Fox would change at all. All right, listen, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Sorry I went long in that last segment, so we had a short segment here. I'll take this break on time. We've got a lot to get into on the show today. Or as they say on Outnumbered, we have lots to unpack today. We have lots of things to get into today, including Bernie Sanders yelled at a baby at an event yesterday. We'll share that. We'll talk about that and a whole bunch more. My name's Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
1370 is WWNN Pompano Beach and 95.3 FM, W237BD Boca Raton. the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is coming.
Steve Kane Show.
Has all the education you need to make an informed decision
Shlomo, hold on.
about your plan.
Steve Kane
for
Show.
you
What's your
and
name? Okay,
family.
hold on.
I will advisor specializes in every aspect of Medicare and what options are most likely to help or hurt you. And that way you can get a plan that fits your lifestyle and needs at an affordable rate. Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Right now, the U.S. is in the
Be right
midst
back,
of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, mom and dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523
All right, guys.
4325. This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325. If your loved one refuses treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option
Greta. Forgot
from
about Greta.
intervention to 30-day rehab, to sober living, to counseling with a licensed therapist, as well as group therapy treatment. It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for you. Call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code.
Yeah, I took the rest of my shutters off last night. My shutters come off easy. It only takes about an hour to get them up and about half an hour to get them all down.
523-4325. If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences, up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Sole Authority. With the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes...
I'm just looking at... Somebody was asking about the Holy Land experience earlier in Orlando. I'm looking it up now. They're only open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6.
597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE.
Oh, and Floridians, we get a discount.
Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450.
I think I might go up there.
When you complete your
I've always wanted to go to the Holy Land experience. I think I might go.
$100 gift certificate.
I'm prepared for every hurricane.
In Coral Springs, the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation.
I don't have to do much preparation. My house is always prepared. I've got a generator.
FLA 3782. The opinions expressed in the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
The Steve Kane Show is live in Morning Drive, 6 till 9 a.m. weekdays, and overnights midnight till 6 a.m., 7 nights a week. To call the show toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Welcome back. Judge Janine tells Sebastian Gorka Fox is looking to fire her. See, they're trying to fire all the Trump associates. Eric Bolling gone, Bill O'Reilly gone. She's close to Trump. They want her gone. Oh, boy. All right, let's go to Shlomo. Shlomo, you're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian. I think one of the reasons CNN and MSNBC don't care about ratings because they get paid by the security services here in the United States. And I know that the New York Times used to get paid during war. I know that the TV media also used to get paid during war. I don't know right now. I don't have no evidence about that. But it just makes sense. Why do we see Mary Cohn Cooper, the CIA operative, working CNN?
I haven't blocked anyone.
And we see the Muslim CIA traitor Brennan also in MSNBC.
Yeah.
And they constantly spewing poison on this president. And I think they get paid for that. Not by that's why they don't care about the advertisement.
That's right.
By the government.
Well, they also, by the way, they also get paid by, if you subscribe to cable, they get paid just because they're on your cable system, even if you don't watch them, too. So they make all kinds of money. They make more money than you realize, even if they have no advertisers.
So they don't
No, I said I would block Roy if he continued to say things about My Pillow, but I didn't block him.
Tell us how to live our lives, controlling us, while they're the one who's spewing up lies.
Absolutely.
For the last, at least for the last 50.
Well, when anything that has so much reach among the people, the powers that be are not going to allow it to be free. The internet used to be free. Social media used to be a free space, and it no longer is because it reaches too many people. So the establishment won't let the internet and social media be free, just like television, just like cable, just like, whatever's big and communicates. That's the way it is.
That's right. I think that the difference is between Fox and MSNBC and CNN. CNN and Fox getting paid for them lying.
Yeah. All right, Shlomo, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. I think you make some points there. I'm not going to disagree. By the way, somebody was asking me. I've never been to this place. Someone during the break earlier was asking me if I've ever been to the Holy Land Experience in Orlando, Florida, and I have not. And I'm thinking I might go. I was just looking during the break at the Holy Land Experience. I did not even know the Holy Land Experience was still there. It's a very Christian place, no doubt about it. I've never been. It looks pretty cool. I was just looking at their website during the break. Yeah, maybe I'll go. Has anyone been recently to the Holy Land Experience? Is it worth the trip? Let me know. All right. Okay, so Judge Jeanine tells Sebastian Gorka Fox News is looking to fire her. Oh, my goodness. This is terrible stuff. All right, good morning. You're on the radio.
Yeah, good morning.
Hey, Richie. What's up?
All right, I'm a little, Judge Jeanine is they're talking about firing her, right?
Well, no, she said to Sebastian, did you hear the clip? Yeah.
My point, first of all, Shlomo is wrong. The government's not paying. They have CNN is owned by Comcast, so Comcast is in everybody's.
Yes.
Not in everyone's house. AT&T is, and AT&T.
Correct.
As for Fox, and they get the money. As for Fox, I'm against boycotts. You promoted American News. You promoted the other station over there. I turned it on. I can't watch it. It's the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not for boycotts whatsoever. If they fired Judge Jeanine, if you don't like it, you turn it off. But boycott.
I'm not organizing a boycott. I'm just saying I choose not to watch it. That's all.
Hey, Steve, for watching Fox.
Yeah.
Being that, and you're watching CNN because you're using it. You're saying, well, that's part of your show prep.
Yes.
Everybody and his mother knows CNN is can give you the same crap every day. They don't change. They're the same.
No. To do a talk show, I'll tell you, the first time I was going to be on the air alone, Steve told me, he says, find an article out of the newspaper, that's how long ago it was, that pisses you off and talk about that. So the reason I monitor MSNBC and CNN is because to have an interesting talk show, you want to talk about, it's conflict. There's got to be conflict. You want to talk about things you disagree with and things that piss you off. And that's the way it is.
You already know what they're going to say. I can't watch them either because putting them on is disgusting.
Uh-huh.
getting fake news. President Trump labeled them perfectly.
Yes.
I don't even bother with these people.
Uh-huh.
Saying you need show prep, but my God, I mean, this is the same. To get show prep from these people is.
Well, how would you prepare? How would you prepare? Okay, how would you prepare? What should I be doing? How would you prepare for a like? I give you an example. That clip I found of Judge Jeanine and the hot mic moment with Gorka. I found that on but I found that on a liberal news site this morning. Okay, I found that on a liberal news site. Okay, you know, so in the line of work I'm in, you know, I've got to be down there with these dogs.
You all know also, I know every week she starts her show the same way lately, and it wasn't like that before. Thank you, everybody, for making me number one the entire weekend.
Yeah.
This is on purpose. She's
Steve Kane
covering
show.
her butt. But the fact is, I love watching her, and I love watching.
Well, what is your opinion of Fox, though? Judge Jeanine said Fox is setting the stage to fire her, and that they're looking for an excuse to fire her.
For excuse to fire Laura, they're looking for excuse to fire Tucker. These people are leftists in the news section of that station.
Yes.
They're
yes.
Leftists.
Oh. Yeah. Find alternative sources. President Trump said we need a new news outlet.
News is awful. That one day I mean, I can't watch it. It's like
I choose not. I do not get my news and information on television. Everything I do on the radio, I talk about this a lot. I'm in front of my computer about 10 to 4, 5 to 4 in the morning. Everything you hear me talk about on the air, I've pulled offline, not from watching the news. I don't CNN, MSNBC, Fox, One American News. I don't sit around and watch TV and do show prep. That's how you do show prep. I do it all online. I choose to get my news off the internet and not support an organization that is looking for an excuse to fire Judge Jeanine. And the reason they want to fire Judge Jeanine is because she's a close personal friend of Donald Trump.
for Laura too. They want to go after her too. I mean, I guess you go to sleep before Laura comes up.
Yeah.
Constantly trying to get her, but like CNN and MSNBC, they're all attacking Fox. And Fox.
You know, as much of a dope and a jerk Glenn Beck turned out to be, you know, he was the first one let go at Fox. He had huge ratings at Fox, and they let him go. And they let him. That was the beginning of the liberal turn over at Fox News, when they got rid of Glenn Beck when he had the 5 o'clock time slot.
Absolutely, and even the five has gotten to
the 5 is not watchable to me. It's not watchable.
Thing every night. It's the same thing.
Because they got to have Juan Williams or Donna Brazil. Yeah, they got to have Donna Brazil on, or they got to have Juan Williams. And I'm not a fan of Jesse Waters. He's too in love with himself. Spends too much time on his hair.
Somebody said the other day when Steve came in, I think Steve said it yesterday on the phone to you, I hope you and Steve will get along today. When Steve and you disagree, you can spend an hour fighting with him.
Yeah, correct.
Right on the head. That's radio, comfort.
But Fox News is not radio is different. Okay, you don't watch cable news, at least I don't, for the controversy like that. You watch it for news and information. You get no news, okay, and you get constant commentary disguised as news.
Oh yeah, Shepard Smith, when he gives a news report, if you notice, at the end of every sentence, he always puts his little sarcastic dig in off the prompter.
Yeah.
And that's disgusting already. I can't stand him. My wife hears that voice, and she says, turn that off.
Who's that? Juan Williams?
Juan Williams is another one.
Juan Williams is unwatchable.
Liberals, for the sake of being a liberal, disagree is just to disagree. If you say white, he says black. If you say black, he says white. He's not credible at all to me.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Rich, you got to run for a break. I'll tell you this, though. I've always been hard on Greg Gutfeld. And I never watched his weekend show, really. And I watched a whole episode of it a couple weeks ago. And it was pretty funny, his weekend show. I don't like the 5. I don't like him on the 5. I don't think he's funny. By the way, have any of you seen the Dave Chappelle comedy special on Netflix? It's pretty darn good. It's called Sticks and Stones. And what Chappelle is doing with his new comedy special, he's trying to bring back comedy, I should say, because the forces of the left have been destroying comedy. And he hits every politically incorrect thing you could possibly hit on in 2019 in that comedy special. It's pretty funny. And Rotten Tomatoes, this has been corrected, but Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 0% score, which tells you everything you need to know about Rotten Tomatoes, right? That it's manipulated, it's fake. It used to be, but now it's fake. And on Netflix, the Chappelle special has like a 99%, right? And you should really watch it. If you have Netflix, check out the Dave Chappelle. The language is a little salty, so don't watch it with the kids around, okay? But Chappelle, I wouldn't say it's the funniest I've ever seen Dave Chappelle. But what Dave Chappelle is on a mission to get this politically correct liberal nonsense from suppressing comedy, because comedy has been destroyed by the left, completely destroyed by it. And Dave Chappelle is on a mission to bring it back. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Bernie Sanders yelled at a baby. We'll get into that when we get back. My name is Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Are messy adhesives ruining the taste of your food? Is it painful for you to eat? Does the constant denture movement affect your speech? Are you always worried that your dentures will fall out while you're talking or laughing? Do you have sore spots? You are not alone. These are common problems that can be solved simply with dental implants. This is Steve Kane, and I want to introduce you to Brighton Dental Care, where the Kane family goes for all our dental needs. Brighton Dental Care doesn't want cost to stop you from being able to eat the food.
Yeah, I'm going to play that Kamala Harris clip with the straws.
That's why, for Steve Kane
I'll get to that.
They're offering implants. Get this, for just $3,500. That includes 2 implants plus a lower denture. Now, if you go to a dentist in Boca or in Aventura, they're going to charge you $6,000 for the exact same implants and denture. That's right, $6,000. But at Brighton Dental Care, just $3,500, and that includes the 2 implants plus your lower denture. Laugh and live with confidence. Call Brighton Dental Care at 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633, and online at BrightonDentalCare.com. Be sure to ask about special discounts for our military veterans.
Attention all Berries Vitamins customers. All the vitamins and supplements you know and love are available at Save-A-Lot Nutrition Centers, and the prices are a fraction of what you were paying before. Stop in or call Save-A-Lot. Save-A-Lot Nutrition Centers is located a half-mile south of Sample Road on the west side of State Road 7 in the Penn Dutch Plaza. Speak with Al. He's the owner. Tell him what supplements you were looking for, and he will be more than happy to get you the supplements you need. Save-A-Lot Nutrition Centers, 754-307-1655, 754-307-1655.
For the best wings in this town, it's Wings Plus. Wings that are first grilled and then fried to make them extra crispy. Served with blue cheese and celery. Try the Jamaican jerk, the lemon pepper wings, the honey mustard wings, the garlic wings, and 15 other varieties. That's Wings Plus, located at 9880 Sample Road in Coral Springs with a politically elite meat.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Our number one, Triple H, Go Kane 1. That's Kane with a K, K-A-N-E, and the number 1, 888-465-2631. Okay, so Bernie Sanders, he did 2 things yesterday. One in particular that would be a career ender for a Republican, but really 2 things. Democrats and Republicans, it's such a different thing. Democrats have a complete immunity from being questioned about any damn thing. They can do and say anything, and it's okay. They can lie, right? They can have sex with interns while they're on the phone with foreign leaders. I want you to think about this. You know, they're trying to make a scandal with President Trump over the hurricane track and some Sharpie pen. I don't quite understand it. They're saying that he did something with his Sharpie in the Oval Office, and I've been hearing these endless discussions about it. It's all over the liberal media. Bill Clinton had a White House intern, Monica Lewinsky, performing oral sex on him in the Oval Office at the Resolute desk, which, by the way, is this, you know, that famous photograph of John F. Kennedy Jr. crawling under President Kennedy's desk? It's the same desk. So Bill Clinton is in the Oval Office getting BJs from Monica Lewinsky, a White House intern, and calls up foreign leaders to enhance the eroticism of the call. This was all in the Star Report. He called Boris Yeltsin, the president of Russia, and some other world leaders. Just had to call them at that particular time while Lewinsky was under the desk pleasuring him. And the press that defended that are trying to tell us there's some scandal with Trump because there was a Sharpie pen on his desk. What are they they're out of their minds. And that's just how it is. When you're a Democrat, you can do whatever you want and get away with it. Republicans can do no right, and everything they do is wrong and corrupt and evil and everything else. Like yesterday, I had this stolen valor story with Mayor Pete. Mayor Pete had been implying that he was a combat veteran since he's been on the campaign trail, even before then. And he finally admitted that he's not a combat veteran. He doesn't have the combat ribbon. So that's stolen valor, okay? Stolen valor. Other than me, who's talked about that? Have any of you heard anyone talk about that other than me? There was a story in Breitbart about it, but was it on the news? Are they bringing on veterans who are upset that he's passing himself off as something that he's not, and he's been doing it for a long time? No. Bernie Sanders did two things yesterday that if a Republican did them, they'd be done. The first one, Bernie Sanders yelled at a baby. So let me play the audio. Before I do, let me set the stage. Bernie Sanders was talking to a group of supporters, and if you see the video online, it was about 15 or 20 people, maybe. Yeah, I know, Ted Kennedy killed a woman. And he was running for the rest of his life. He'd still be there if he were alive. Stopped him from being president, but he still was in the Senate forever. They got a Klansman senator. Kamala Harris was covering up evidence that would have exonerated people on death row. They're running her around still. See what they could do? But Donald Trump's got a Sharpie marker on his desk. We got to get with the Sharpie. I'm not kidding. That's CNN yesterday. It's craziness. So Bernie Sanders is talking to this group of 15 or 20 supporters. And a baby, it could be a toddler, but a toddler's still a baby. A baby cries and interrupts Senator Sanders. Listen to what Bernie Sanders does when the baby cries.
So yeah, Lauren, thank you very much. Literally, thank you very much. Because it's not easy getting up in front of a TV camera and talking about. Why did I hear you correctly say that you have to cut your pillows in half? We can keep that down a little bit.
Okay, he referred to a baby as a that. Okay, he referred to a baby as a that. Okay, now when you watch the video, yeah, I know politicians are supposed to be kissing babies. Bernie yelled at a baby, and when the baby makes a little noise again, he stops what he's doing. Go watch the video. He stops what he's doing, and he's pissed. Now, I've been out in public, like at I'm sure you've seen this. You ever been to a store or a restaurant, and you hear a baby cry out or is crying? And there'll always be some jerk that says, shut that kid up, you know. Usually it's someone without a kid. You know they don't have kids. Those of us that have kids, when we hear a baby crying out in a restaurant, on an airplane or something, in a store, we don't, we know what it's like. It's okay. Bernie Sanders has several kids, which shocks me. Must not spend too much time raising them. Could you imagine if Donald Trump yelled at a baby and referred to a child as a that? at a campaign event? What would they do in the media? Have you seen this on television outside of maybe someone at night on Fox? Listen.
Yeah. Brian, thank you very much. Elizabeth, thank you very much. Because it's not easy to get it up in part of the TV I'm talking about. Brian, did I hear you correctly say that you have to cut your pillows in half yourself? We can keep that down a little bit. Okay, thanks.
It's a baby, stupid. It's a baby, Bernie. You can't control a baby like that. It's not a that. It's a child. It's a life. It's out of the womb. Even you liberals outside the womb acknowledge it's a life. What a monster.
In part of the TV I'm talking about. Brian, did I hear you correctly say that you have to cut your pillows in half yourself? We can keep that down a little bit. Okay, thanks.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. If a Republican did that, they'd be done. There'd be a whole dialogue going on about it. If a Republican yelled at a baby who had a brief outburst, it didn't sound like the baby was crying to me. It sounded like the baby was playing. Play. Something going on in the little stroller. I thought Bernie just didn't like babies in the womb. Apparently he doesn't like them out of the womb either. If Donald Trump yelled at a baby, referred to a baby as a that, there would be a dialogue. Every reporter would be on there that's a woman. As a mom, I'm appalled. I've been out in public and the baby will yell out and cry out. And as a parent, as a mom, Donald Trump, he obviously didn't raise his kids. They were raised by nannies and, or any other Republican. They would be endless discussions and it would be over for them. Bernie Sanders yells at a baby, media blackout. Made something on Fox last night, but other than that, a media blackout. You've got Mayor Pete exposed for passing himself off as a combat veteran. Finally admitted he's not, even though he's been implying it forever. Got Bernie Sanders yelling at a baby. There's video of him yelling at the baby. I pulled the audio off the video, and he's pissed. Media blackout. Media blackout. What a monster.
Did I hear you correctly say that you have to cut your pillows in half yourself? We can keep that down a little bit. Okay, thanks.
Oh, my goodness. It's a baby, stupid. What a jerk. How dare that baby interrupt Senator Bernie Sanders pontificating with the same crap he's been running around spewing for years now. So then last night, that came out yesterday. I know it's sick. I know it's sick. I would say you're the Periscope trash. So last night, CNN had this climate change presidential town hall, okay? And what Bernie Sanders, well, let me play this and then we'll talk about it after. Because it sounds as if, to me, Bernie Sanders is, well, he's talking like a Nazi, and I don't say that lightly. So this is Bernie Sanders. He started his day by yelling at a baby, and he ended his day at CNN's town hall. Listen.
Human population growth has more than doubled in the past 50 years. The planet cannot sustain this growth.
Okay. Now, this is one of the setup questions in the town hall to Bernie. The planet is not overcrowded. The planet can sustain the growth. The planet is not crowded at all. You see this picture? You've been watching the pictures from orbit. What do you see from orbit other than the hurricane? But on good weather days, what do you see from orbit? You see green everywhere, right? You don't see concrete or anything like that. You see green. The planet only seems crowded because we all live together like ants, okay, in our little anthills. You know, this population, this overcrowding has been going on forever. Back in the 60s and 70s, I can't remember the name. Steve will remember. Who's that sick couple with the population bomb? that the earth was going to be overcrowded if we didn't do something about it. And that's when they started promoting the pill, now known as birth control. There was even an episode of the original Star Trek series about this, where they were promoting birth control on the original Star Trek. But in 68, but this is one of the, I haven't heard a liberal talk about the population bomb in years. But it's back now. So Bernie's response, this is pretty sick stuff, but hey, when a man's yelling at a baby, it's hard to hear anything worse. But listen to what his answer to the population overcrowding that we are facing.
Human population growth has more than doubled in the past 50 years. The planet cannot sustain this growth. I realize this is a poisonous topic for politicians, but it's crucial to face. Empowering women and educating everyone on the need to curb population growth seems a reasonable campaign to enact.
Okay. Now this, I'm sure she considers herself a feminist. She has a weird voice. Her accent there at the end, oct. Is she Canadian? What is that accent? Is she a foreigner? Or is there foreign interference going on in the Democrat election? This is the town hall. She's talking to Bernie Sanders. Empowering women. She's talking about abortion. When it comes to sex, women have all the power, right? Women decide when to have sex and with who. It's not men. Women are when it comes to sex, women are the most empowered on this planet. Men have no power when it comes to that, right? That's why gay men are so out of control sexually. There's not a woman there to put the brakes on. If it were up to men, they'd be going out picking up women all day, every day, having sex with as many people as they can. Women are very empowered. Okay, and I don't think that's even debatable, right? Do women have all the power when it comes to sex? I would say yes. Anyway, let's get back to it.
Human population growth has more than doubled in the past 50 years. The planet cannot sustain this growth.
Oh, yes.
I realize this is a poisonous topic for politicians, but it's crucial to face. Empowering women and educating everyone on the need to curb population growth seems a reasonable campaign to enact. Would you be courageous enough to discuss this issue and make it a key feature of a plan to address climate catastrophe?
Well, Martha, the answer is yes. And
you know what I think part of what we could do to curb the population? Let's name more women Martha. I could not imagine. I apologize to the Marthas in the audience. Are there any Marthas? I didn't know that was still a name. I thought that died off. Could you imagine, men, guys out there, can you imagine getting turned on and sexually active with someone named Martha? Ugh. Ugh. Maybe that's how we can do it. But I'm a little suspect of this before we get to Bernie's answer. Because, I started watching A Handmaid's Tale a couple months back. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like Handmaid's Tale. There's a group of oppressed women that are referred to in The Handmaid's Tale as the Marthas. Any of you watch Handmaid's Tale? The Marthas. It's a group of women. They're oppressed by the men. They have no freedoms. I haven't met... I had a grandmother named Martha, who has long since passed away. But when is the last time you met a Martha? I know Martha McCallum. Who's another Martha that's around today that's under 90? And she's old. She's in her 50s. When is the last time you knew someone who was young named Martha? And I'm just wondering, is her name really Martha? Is it a coincidence that she has this name from Handmaid's Tale, an old name? But anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Let's get back to Bernie's response, because he has an answer because of the climate crisis and all of this.
But it's crucial to face.
She's old too.
And educating everyone on the need to curb population growth seems a reasonable campaign to enact.
How old is your Martha?
Would you be courageous enough to discuss this issue and make it a key feature of a plan to address climate catastrophe?
Well, Martha, the answer is yes. And the answer has everything to do with the fact that women
How
in
old
the
is she?
United States of America, by the way, have a right to control their own bodies and make reproductive decisions. And the Mexico City Agreement, which denies American aid to those organizations around the world that allow women to have abortions or even get involved in birth control, to me is totally absurd. So I think, especially in poor countries around the world, where women do not necessarily want to have numbers of babies, and where they can have the opportunity through birth control to control the number of kids they have, something I very, very strongly support.
Okay, so Bernie Sanders, what do you think about what he's suggesting here? He started the day by yelling at a baby, Bernie Sanders. And that was in the morning. In the evening, he's on CNN, and what did he say there at the end? I know a lot of gobbledygook, and he's got a lot of slobber in his mouth every time he talks. So I know it gets annoying. It's hard to make sense of what he's saying a lot of times. So he started his day in the morning by yelling at a baby, and in the evening he says we need to go to third world countries and abort the children over there in the womb. We need to go to poor countries and go to poor underprivileged women and give them abortions so that they don't have children they can't feed in these third world countries. That sounds like so. And what are these third world countries? Black and brown people. They're not white. It's not Europe he's talking about here. He's talking about Africa, places like that. So he wants to go to Africa and abort black babies in the womb so that they don't grow up in the terrible conditions of Africa. That's what he's saying, Bernie Sanders. He's a sick man yelling at a baby, and he wants to go to Africa and abort black babies. Boy, oh boy. Is he the number 2 candidate or 3? Is Warren 3 or 2 now? That's Bernie Sanders. Oh, yeah. Feel the burn? Boy. What a sick man he is. And no one debates or discusses this in the news. Oh, they applaud. Yeah! Abort the babies in Africa. Was Don Lemon applauding that? Being African American? It's racist. It's sick. And he's a disgusting person who also yells at babies. You can't make this stuff up. All right, let's take our break. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back.
Kane Show is sponsored by I Will Advisors, specializing in senior solutions. Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is approaching. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors and schedule your free, no-obligation appointment to discuss all your Medicare options. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow. And like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat. I would flip-flop all night long. I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed. It's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever.
For a limited time, go to MyPillow.com, and Mike will give you 2 MyPillow premium pillows for one low price. And you will also receive free shipping when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, or call 1-800-716-4879 and give them promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and receive 2 MyPillow premium pillows for one low price. Again, use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com or 1-800-716-4879 for this fantastic offer.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for a Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation,
Coming
and
back.
Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane.
Oh, man. All right. So Bernie Sanders yells at a baby, and now he wants to go to Africa and abort black babies. I thought Black Lives Matter, Bernie Sanders. I guess not in the womb in Africa. So they had this climate change town hall on CNN last night with all the presidential candidates, all of them. They even had Yang there. And I got a few clips. I want to play this one clip I played in the first hour, then we'll get into all of them. Don't worry, I got the Kamala Harris and all this stuff. We'll get to. I'm not going to play Yang. What do I have? I got some Elizabeth Warren. I got some Mayor Pete and some others. But this one here I played earlier in the first hour. I'm going to play this one again. This is Beto. He's talking about a conversation he had with his 8-year-old son. And, of course, Beto's in El Paso. Well, his family's in El Paso. I don't see him there very often unless there's a TV camera there looking to interview people, and he's right there. But listen, here's Beto.
Son Henry, who's 8 years old, when I was talking to him the other night, he asked me, Dad, if you win and you become president, we get to live in El Paso, right? And I said, no, if we win the way this works, we would live in Washington, D.C. But he knew, because I had told him about the warming that we face, that our community will be uninhabitable, will not sustain human life along this current trajectory unless something dramatically and fundamentally changes.
Okay, so Beto said last night on CNN at the Presidential Climate Change Town Hall hosted by Don Lemon. By the way, did they bring up that assault claim against Don Lemon, being accused of sexual assault, Don Lemon? Did that come up last night? So he is, now I was talking about this earlier, this very important point that should not be missed. None of these Democrats are credible people. They're all clowns. Beto is from El Paso, and I'm still trying to figure out why he is involved at every debate. He's everywhere. I don't understand. He seems to be such a joke. He doesn't seem to be credible at all ever. He's very now, I am telling you that even in El Paso, Texas, he has no credibility. The media love him. But outside the media, no one takes him as a serious person. He just said that he told his 8-year-old son that soon El Paso will not be able to support life of any kind because of climate change. If that were true, if the people of El Paso took Beto as a serious person, I'm not talking about whether or not climate change is real or not. We know it's not. But if El Paso, where Beto's from, if El Paso considered Beto to be a serious voice of credibility, there'd be a for sale sign up in front of every house today. There would be a mass exit. Business owners would be selling their businesses, because why are you going to stay in a home and pay a mortgage? You got a 20, 30-year mortgage? You're going to pay a 30-year, 20-year mortgage on a home that's located in a place that's not going to be able to sustain life? So he's not even credible in El Paso. Or it would be economic disaster. Donald Trump is credible. He's believable. He's credible. He's a serious person. If Donald Trump said, he's got property, Doral, Mar-a-Lago here in Florida. If Donald Trump came out and said, I've just been briefed, the polar ice caps are melting, the seas are rising, and in Florida, well, you're going to be underwater soon. What would happen? There'd be a mass evacuation from Florida because we trust Donald Trump. He's a voice of credibility. He's a serious person. Beto says that El Paso, where he's from and where his family lives, where he was a congressman from, he was in front of the Walmart for a few minutes when the cameras were there. He says that's not going to be able to sustain life. There's no change. If Trump said that about Florida or anywhere, by the way, in this country, there would be massive economic change because people be evacuating. Yeah, Cully in the chat room, yeah. If what Beto says is true, why did Bernie, that he's on the stage with, buy a beach house? Why did Barack Obama, who he supports, buy a beach house if the seas are rising? Of course, Don Lemon and the CNN crew didn't bring any of these things up. All right, so we'll finish off with the presidential climate change summit that they had last night on CNN. But first, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
And I want to tell you about Dr. Mitch Vitez at the Boca Raton
Steve
Center
Kane Show.
for Age Management. He's my
Hey, Janet,
anti-aging
hold
doctor.
on.
That's right. I have an anti-aging doctor now. This year, I turned 45, and I was starting to slow down a bit. I met with Dr. Vitez, and he found that my testosterone level was low. We men begin losing our testosterone starting at age 30, and it goes down every year after that. Dr. Vitez told me I was approaching the beginning of andropause. That's the male equivalent of menopause. I began bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. They're tiny little pellets inserted under my skin. And now my testosterone levels are being restored to where they were when I was 25 years old. Thanks to Dr. Matez, I have more energy, I feel better, I look better, my love life, it's better, and my wife, she's thanking Dr. Matez too. Bioidentical hormone pellet therapy isn't just for men, it works wonders for women by reversing the symptoms of menopause, like the night sweats and the mood swings. Men and women, you don't have to live with the negative effects of aging, like loss of energy, loss of sexual desire, weight gain, or menopause. Call Dr. Matez and meet with him about bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. It works for me, and it'll work for you too. He's located in Boca, and his website is hormonetherapybocaraton.com. Or give him a call, 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490. And tell him Brian Craig sent you.
This segment of the Steve Kane Show is brought to you by I Will Advisors. Seniors, medical open enrollment is approaching. Do you know what Medicare options are available to you? Call Debbie at 954-753-8080.
The Unicorn Whisperer.
954-753-8080. And she will answer all your Medicare questions. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
Okay. All right. Welcome back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. It's time for the health report. That time each morning when we check in with Janet Cimarelli over at Save a Lot Nutrition Center. Good morning, Janet.
Good morning, Brian. And I just need to tell your listeners, first of all, I am back at Save a Lot. I will be there today, 11 to 3. Remember, you can bring in your blood test. You can tell me what medications you're taking. You can talk to me about the health issues you're challenged with. And we will work out a dietary and supplement program supporting your best health. And when I am not at Save a Lot Nutrition Center, there is an incredibly knowledgeable staff. You cannot believe the inventory. The inventory is so incredible. Every imaginable national brand, all of the different herbs, the exotic herbs, the tried and true herbs, the teas, the amino acids, the proteins, and some really, really good organic chocolate if you're in the mood. And I know that we're all recovering from the stresses and anxiety associated with the hurricane, and certainly looking with heartfelt concern about what's left in the Bahamas. If you're dealing with stress and anxiety, we have so many different choices to just take the edge off so that you're able to get through your day. If your blood pressure went up, we have natural substances to raise, to lower, and to balance your blood pressure. So I have Janet's Best Pressure, Janet's Best Supercell to prevent cellular damage from the associated stress and anxiety. Brian?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Save a Lot is located in Margate in the Penn Dutch Plaza, just south of Sample Road, on the west side of State Road 7, 441. I get all of my supplements there. I take about a dozen a day, and you should too. And they also ship local and nationwide. So if you're local and you don't drive or you can't drive up to Margate, that's okay. Just give them a call, and they'll ship them to you locally or around the country. 754. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, 75. Yeah. That's right. That's right. And you can call Save a Lot at 754-307-1655. All right, Janet, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care. All right, so last night CNN had a presidential town hall on the climate hoax. And Mayor Pete, he says El Paso will not be able to sustain life. He just told his 8-year-old little boy, but don't worry, I'm going to be president and we're going to move to Washington, which is on the coast, which will be underwater at that time, according to Beto. And Beto went on. There's some more Beto here from the climate change presidential town hall on CNN last night, hosted by Don Lemon, who a man says sexually assaulted him.
Americans to make this our priority as a country. One of the reasons I love the framing of the Green New Deal is it uses some of the language that we might associate with the way that we met the response of Nazi Germany.
Okay. See, now this is a common theme. A lot of these Democrats, they're talking a lot about World War II and how we fought against the Nazis and won World War II. You know, so this is an interesting thing. So if you oppose their climate change agenda, that makes you a Nazi, because who are they fighting? They're not fighting the climate. They're fighting the climate deniers, right? So if you don't agree with them, you're a Nazi is what they're saying. And by the way, they're all saying this. Almost all of them last night used a Nazi and World War II reference. Here, I'll just play this one real quick. It wasn't what I was going to go to, but this is Mayor Pete.
Going to be able to tackle the climate issue when this amounts to a major national project that enlists the abilities of the public sector, the private sector, the academic sector, and folks who up until now have often been made to feel
the academics,
like rural America. We have to stand tall and believe that this is something all of us have pride in and can get done, or it's not going to happen. You know, all night I've been catching at least some of the
Stolen Valor Pete here.
Using the same language. We're talking about existential threat. We're talking about urgency. We're competing over which one of our targets is more accurate. The question is, how are we actually going to get it done? Because we've been having this same conversation for years.
I like how he talks, Beto. He gets real dramatic. He always, if you listen to when he speaks, I'll tell you about Beto. If you listen to Beto speak, not just his speeches, but his answers, he's got the Obama writers behind him. If you listen to his word usage and inflections, he doesn't have the echo, the God echo, but the word usage and the inflections and the word emphasis, same ones as Obama. The primary question is, he says, he gets all, he does that a lot. But anyway.
For years. I think in order for that to happen, we have to actually unify the country around this project. And that means bringing people to the table who haven't felt that they've been part of the process. I mean, this is the hardest thing we will have done, certainly in my lifetime as a country. This is on par with winning World War II, perhaps.
Okay. See, notice the whole thing, winning World War II. Now, I just remind the Democrats were opposed to intervention in Europe. They said, you know what they did? They did. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. The Democrats, you know what the Democrats said when Hitler took over France and was battered during the battle? That's a European conflict. Yeah, but there's boxcars filled with Jews. That's a European conflict. right? That's true. Yeah, but they're exterminating the Jews. It's a European conflict. We're not to get involved until Hitler did one. He went too far. Bombing the civilian population of London, that wasn't too far. Rounding up the Jews of Europe, putting them on boxcars to their death, the Democrats, that wasn't far enough. It's when he invaded the Soviet Union, and that's when they said, Chancellor Hitler, you've gone too far. Okay, you can exterminate the Jews. You can bomb the civilians of London. You can take over this country, that country, and every other country. But when you go after Mother Russia, you've gone too far. So they were all opposed. The Democrats were opposed. I'm not kidding. You can look this up. Don't look for it in your school history books. It's not there. But this is this common framing that it's on par with the Nazis, because they are framing climate deniers as Nazis. And when Mayor Pete says, we have to get people involved that felt they weren't involved, it's a big scam. I'll give you an example. They keep telling us that Florida is underwater, and people in Miami Beach are seeing fish in the street. What happened with that, and you think I'm laughing, I'll tell you what this scam was all about. If you go to Miami Beach, which is on the beach and on the ocean, you know what there is on Miami Beach? There's tourists, there's gays, there's topless European women on the beach who think that you can go topless on the American beaches, and you have restaurants. And a lot of them are seafood restaurants. And what had happened, and I'm not making this up, this is a true story, I swear to you. There was a fresh fish being delivered to a restaurant. The cooler with ice fell out of the back of a truck, and there was some fish on the street and ice. Oh, there's fish in the street. That's where that came from. Now, I'm not kidding. Now, this story, you can look this up in the Miami Herald and read up on this. I've read these articles on the air before. I'm not going to look them up and do it now, but you can look this up on your own. If you watch these climate change things, MSNBC and CNN, they continue, go talk to people in Florida, and they'll tell you that the seas are rising. They'll tell you. Go down to Miami, they'll tell you. Now, I'm in Florida. We're on the coast. I'm in Miami Beach all the time. My wife's doctor's down in Miami Beach. I'm down there all the time. There's no flooding, no sea rising. Where this story came from is Obama put a lot of government programs in place to combat climate change. And a community in Miami Beach was trying to get the climate change money. And they wanted to build a new sidewalk. If you go down to, I was recently down in South Beach, and if you go to the far north end of South Beach, there's been a lot of rebuilding of the sidewalks along the beach. They have a whole new area to walk on along the beach, which is very nice, very nice. And there was you can Google what I'm telling you about, and you will find articles at the Miami Herald from a couple years ago about this. There's a community down in Miami Beach that wanted new sidewalks built, but they didn't have the money to build them. So they started talking about the sea level rising in Miami Beach. This is a true story, I swear to you. Google this, Yahoo it, go on Bing, DuckDuckGo, go to all the search engines. You will find articles in the Miami Herald and other Florida newspapers in South Florida about the specific thing I'm telling you about. You can look this all up on your own. I promise you, you'll find it. It'll take about a minute. They wanted new sidewalks in front of their homes on Miami Beach. But it cost a lot of money to do that, especially down in Miami Beach, because there's a beach project, it's protected land, you've got the construction, because it's a historical district with the Art Deco district, a lot more goes into building a sidewalk than a typical sidewalk, okay, very expensive. So they came up with this scam, an idea, they call it. We can get... Steve's laughing. This is true story. This is a true story. I'm not Dave Chappelle doing a comedy bit here. This is true. This is how because CNN and MSNBC, go to Miami Beach. They'll tell you the seas are rising. This is where the story came from. This community in South Beach started claiming that the seas were rising to get Obama Climate Fund money to build a new sidewalk that was raised. See, they wanted to build a raised sidewalk. And if the seas are rising, it qualifies for the climate change money from the federal government. It's a true story. You Google it, you'll find it in the Miami Herald. There's several stories on it. and they wanted a raised sidewalk. And of course, they needed a new sidewalk and a raised sidewalk because the seas are rising. You can't build a sidewalk where the ground currently is. That's going to be underwater in a couple years. And that's where this whole story came from about the sea rising in Miami Beach and the fish in the streets. It all comes from that. Okay?
They got the money?
I don't know because Trump became president. I don't know if the money came through. But last time I was down there, I saw a lot of new sidewalks, and some of it did look raised, and I thought maybe they did get the money. I don't know how it worked out. But that's where that story came from. The seas are now rising. You know, we live in Florida. We're broadcasting from Florida, and we're on the coast. We're in South Florida, on the east coast of Florida. Believe me, if the seas were rising, we would be very concerned about it. This is where we live. And those of us here in Florida, we have homes and pay mortgages and everything else. And, you know, we don't want to be paying mortgages on land that's going to be underwater due to the rising sea levels. So don't believe any of this crap. All right, Steve's here. I have not finished. When we get back, I'll finish up with these clips from this climate change town hall with the Democrat presidential candidates. Was hilarious. I got more coming up. And, of course, climate deniers were not welcome. See, you know, science, if you have a scientific theory, it is supposed to be held up to debate. You know, if you go for your PhD, what do you do with your thesis, right? When you present your thesis, you defend it, right? You got to, is that what they do? I don't have a PhD, you know, but you got to defend it. You go there, you defend it. Their theory of climate change is so weak, it cannot handle an informed scientific debate from like the founder of the Weather Channel who says it's a lie. So climate deniers are openly not invited to the MSNBC, CNN town hall meetings on climate. MSNBC said they will not have a climate denier on the air. And at this town hall last night, there was not one skeptic. All right, so we'll take a break. Third hour starting right after this.
1470 is WWMN Pompano Beach.
Steve Kane Show.
And 95.3 FM.
Hey, hold on. Steve Kane Show.
Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
But Steve
What?
Kane Show is
What's that?
I think it's in New England.
Hold on. We got Matez. I mean, Obama's. And Bernie has a beach house too.
8080 954 753 8080.
Couple years.
Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group.
No, it was after he was saying it.
Revocable Living Trust. $350 for single people, $450 for...
See, okay, I got the article right here on the sidewalks. One of them, I'll read it.
He will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA.
Yep, they got the sidewalk.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, we're back. Steve's here. We've got Dr. Mitch Matez on the line. I've gotten the lines mixed up. I don't remember which one Dr. Matez was because we were talking during the break. So we'll go random here. This may be Dr. Matez or it may not. Good morning.
Good guess, Rob.
Oh, good. The hormone pellets are working on the memory. Hey, Dr. Matez, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Good times in South Florida. Labor Day's over. The heat's going to start going away. People are going to start getting outdoors a little bit more and getting active with all kinds of fun things that we like to do in Florida. And a lot of you are going to realize when you start getting out there and getting active that you just don't have that get up and go or that drive that you used to. Not feeling as well as you did. Your energy's not so good. Maybe your sex drive's not so good. And just kind of don't feel well, and that's what we do, folks. That's what we can fix. We call it age management for a reason, because we can manage the symptoms that come with the aging process. And it's not that hard to do. You hear us talking about it on the radio all the time. It's quite simple. And for those of you that have been thinking about this for a long time, maybe it's time to pull the plug and come in and talk with us and get on the road to feeling good again.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I have met so many people who, like myself, are patients of Dr. Matez who use hormone replacement pellet therapy, both men and women. and they look great, they feel great, they love to tell you about how great they feel with their pellets and everything else that goes along with it. It's absolutely amazing. So listen, give Dr. Matez a call. For Steve Kane listeners only, it's a completely free consultation. Dr. Matez he charges for this for non-Steve Kane listeners, and he charges quite a bit. A fancy Boca doctor here, but he gives a big break to Steve Kane listeners, and he charges you nothing for this consultation. It's completely free. 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490. And online, hormone therapy, BocaRaton.com. All right, Dr. Matez, we'll talk soon. All right, take care. All right, Steve's here. Okay, I did find if you Google this thing about the sidewalks in Miami, there are just endless articles about it. They did get the sidewalks. This is an article that was written during the construction of the raised sidewalks, okay? And this is in a local real estate publication called Miami Real Estate Guide, but you'll find articles in the Miami Herald and elsewhere if you Google it as I did. Listen to this. And this article is from a couple years ago. The city of Miami Beach is raising the streets in an effort to protect the city from the impending sea level rise. They raised them 2.5 feet, okay? So that's where the lie came from, so they could get the federal money. You know how much it costs to build sidewalks on Miami Beach? And then you got to raise them 2.5 feet? You can't, when you put them on the ground, you raise them 2.5 feet, you have to put all that. It's very expensive. And they showed the I've seen sidewalks being built. I've never seen a project like this down the whole beach. They raised them 2.5 feet. They got the federal money. It's a scam. Okay, so we got more. I got some more clips from the town hall. Hold on, let me see here. I'm not going to play them all. Okay, here's Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Listen to this. This is all these clips are from CNN's presidential town hall on climate change last night. And here's Kamala Harris.
Plastic straws are a big thing right now. Yeah. Do you ban plastic straws?
Okay. Now, before I play her response to this, the climate change people have gotten into straws, okay, banning straws, which is another scam. And that's why that CNN reporter says to Kamala Harris at this town hall last night, straws are a big thing now. I go to Disney World all the time. They don't give you straws at Walt Disney World anymore. They don't give you straws. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Is it because of the environment? Hell no. You know why that is? You know how much money Walt Disney World spends in a day by putting a straw in every soda that someone orders in every one of the restaurants? They spend more money on straws a day than probably a lot of us make in 10 years, if not our lifetime. Okay? So a lot of companies are smart. These people in Miami Beach, we want a new sidewalk. Okay, we got a scam. It's right. The sea levels are rising. This article I was just reading, they quote one person who says, well, we don't have to build it 2.5 feet up now, but it doesn't make sense to build a sidewalk twice. If we replace the sidewalk at ground level, in a few years, we're going to have to build it again up higher. So let's just do it now and give us our Obama money, okay? Companies around the country are getting on board with this green straw crap to save money. Like if you go to McDonald's, they won't give you ketchup unless you ask, right? If they give ketchup to everybody, it costs a lot of money. It's free. So these companies, straws are not a problem. By the way, how does straws cause global warming? I'd like to know. Straws are being banned not because of green things, but so companies can save money, and they're hiding behind them. Anyway, Kamala Harris, listen to Kamala Harris. She's such an idiot.
Plastic straws are a big thing right now. Yeah. Do you ban plastic straws? I think we should.
Yeah, I think we should. Now, this was your front runner a couple weeks ago. She thinks we should ban plastic straws, but we have to do something first. She says we have to do something we need to do first.
Plastic straws are a big thing right now. Yeah. Do you ban plastic straws? I think we should. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I replayed it by accident.
Are a big thing right now. Do you ban plastic straws?
I think we should. Yes. Look, I'm going to be honest.
Crazy.
It's really difficult to drink out of a paper straw when if you don't gulp it down immediately, it starts to bend. And then the little thing.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you drinking I hope you're not drinking a big gulp in New York City. They're illegal there, Kamala Harris.
Catches it, and then, so we got to kind of perfect that one a little bit more.
So you ban it, but rely on innovation.
They can't say it without laughing.
Okay, so Kamala Harris, John F. Kennedy, we can send a man to the moon and back before the decade's out. What he's doing, what she's saying here, this Kamala Harris, an African-Canadian woman, she says we need to ban plastic straws, but first we need to dedicate ourselves on a mission to manufacture a better paper straw. Have you used one of these paper straws they give out now? They are awful. You use it because what happens when paper gets wet?
Soggy.
Yeah. So they don't last very long, and so it's a big problem. Yeah. So then it was.
I'm drinking beer through a straw.
Yeah, really. I just usually take a funnel, put it over mine, just pour it in the funnel. But this climate change town hall went on for hours last night because they had every Democrat running for president. They even had Yang there. But don't worry, I'm not going to play all of them. But here's Elizabeth Warren. She's CNN town hall last night, presidential town hall on climate change.
Is that a yes?
No. Look, there are a lot of ways that we try to change our energy consumption.
Yeah, I'll tell you one way. Okay. If now think about this. None of these candidates believe this, by the way. They just know they got a lot of dumb Democrats who are into it. If they really believed what they said, Beto says El Paso will not be able to support life soon. She says we've got to make sacrifices. The other one wants the straws. We got to do this like the Nazis. All of these people do something I have never done, and they do it every day, all day. Fly on private jets to this campaign stop, to that town hall, to this person and that person. If they really believed it, with the modern technology that we have, wouldn't they have a YouTube town hall and they would all just campaign from home and live stream from their office maybe? Or would they be flying around on private jets? Okay, if they really believe all these, the sea levels are rising, the straws are a problem, even if they won't even jet, pool, and fly commercial, but even commercial travel is not necessary with the tech. You could do if one of these candidates said, listen, climate change is going to destroy this planet unless we make dramatic changes. I am not going to pollute this planet and bring us closer to a climate catastrophe by traveling on this campaign. I am doing this entire campaign from my home, and I'm going to live stream on video. And it can be, we've got listeners all over America and the world right now watching us on YouTube live and on Facebook Live. We've got people in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Canada, throughout the United States, Israel, okay? If one of them said, I'm going to do my entire campaign from home, I will Skype in or live stream in everywhere because I am not going to bring this planet closer to climate catastrophe, then I would say, wow, they're wrong and they're crazy, but at least they believe it. These people are flying around on jets every single day, multiple times, bringing us. They're polluting the atmosphere more in a day than the rest of us are doing in 5 years, because how often do you really fly? And they're flying multiple times a day. But anyway, Elizabeth Warren with her bold plan.
Is that a yes?
No. Look, there are a lot of ways that we try to change our energy consumption and our pollution. And God bless all of those ways. Some of it is with light bulbs, some of it is on straws, some of it
It's crazy.
is on cheeseburgers, right?
Banning cheeseburgers.
There are a lot of different pieces to this, and I get that people are trying to find the part that they can work on and what can they do, and I'm in favor of that, and I'm going to help, and I'm going to support. But
Okay, so now she's going to ban cheeseburgers. We're going to ban straws. Do any of them have a campaign bus that runs on natural gas? Because these campaign buses, to me, look like the old-fashioned gasoline guzzlers.
What you're leaving out is being liberal Democrats. They have been raised to believe the rules, whatever they may be, do not apply to them.
Well, they don't believe it. If they believed that this activity was going to make the Earth incapable of supporting life, as they all said last night, they would curb their carbon emissions.
You know, it's interesting. This is not a new phenomenon. This has been going on forever and ever and ever.
Oh, yeah.
The environmentalists and the sucking money out of the government for research that's sympathetic to their point of view. I remember when let's see, I think I was in high school, maybe, I guess it was high school, maybe junior high school. Rachel Carson was a lady who wrote a best-selling, big book that was
number one on the list for ages and ages. It was called The Sea Around Us. And it was basically about how pollution was going to destroy the sea, the ocean, and we'd all the scenarios, we end up the same, dead, choking on our own garbage. And then after that, who was the one after that?
The population bomb was the next one.
Population bomb, Ehrlich.
Yeah.
Paul Ehrlich.
Yeah.
The Earth is going to, population of the Earth is going to starve to death because the overpopulation is going to be said we won't be able to.
And that was the
feed
60s.
That was the 60s. Every 10 years, these guys come out to have their research grants renewed, and then the story is always the same basic thing.
Yeah, and the reason that the left always focus their message to kids is because they're young and they weren't around during these things, so they don't know.
Exactly.
They don't know.
And in addition to that, these people are basically mentally not quite up to par. These people on the left.
Yeah.
They don't think. They don't reason. You ask them a thing like that about why would Obama buy a home in an area,
A beach house?
they're telling us is going to be underwater in 10 years.
Yeah.
And they just tune that out. You know, they don't want to deal with it.
Did you hear the clip I played of Bernie yelling at the baby?
I love it.
Let me play this for you again. Listen.
Elizabeth, thank you very much. Because it's not easy getting up in front of a TV camera. We're talking about
Oh yeah, Bernie hates getting up in front of those TV cameras. Yeah.
Did I hear you correctly say that you have to cut your pills in half yourself?
Oh, what is
it?
it?
Keep that down a little bit. Okay.
They yelled at the baby. I've never seen a politician yell at a baby before.
The baby's louder than Bernie.
He's got more energy. Got more energy. I mean, my goodness. My goodness. And you should see the look on his face and his body. He was, oh yeah, he was pissed. He like grabbed onto the podium and
You
he,
think he's that way with his grandchildren?
I don't think he spends much time around his children. If he spent time raising his kids, he wouldn't have been so annoyed at the crying baby.
That's true. And if he had been, I mean, let's face it, a lot of people have kids and have babies that they're not into that much. So
Well, he seems to be one of those.
he's in that category.
Yeah.
That rare category. Let's take a break. You are listening to the Steve Kane Show, along with Brian Craig, and we're going to be back right after these commercial words.
People put off the medical care they need for a lot of reasons. My deductible is too high. I don't have insurance. My schedule is too hectic. I just can't afford.
Oh, here's that check.
Excuses is over. Thanks to Any Lab Test Now of Plantation, where they guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. PSA only $34.
Yeah, well, you do,
Full
yeah.
cholesterol lipid panel $28.
After the show.
Complete thyroid panel $49. Diabetic A1C test only $27. No doctor's order or prescription needed. All testing is always anonymous.
Steve Kane
and
Show.
confidential. In and out in 15 minutes or
Hey, Barry.
less. Most
Barry
results,
Siegel.
24 to 48 hours. Make sure to ask about their allergy testing, which includes micronutrient and environmental allergies, and vitamin deficiency test, drug testing, you name it. Any Lab Test Now with Plantation probably test for it. Any Lab Test Now with Plantation is located.
Now, you didn't hear the thing with Judge Janine I did you?
Sunrise Boulevard. In
The thing with Judge
on the
Janine?
corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard.
I was talking about it earlier on the air. You didn't hear it on the way?
954-916-1072. 954-916-1072.
All right, Barry Siegel's on the line.
Online, labtestingplantation.com. Take control of your health with Any Lab Test Now of Plantation. 954-916-1072.
I don't have it yet.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show.
It's kind of soon to start. We just had it.
Search for WWNN.
All right, the time has come to check in with our good friend, attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. And if you are getting on in years and you're getting ready to make your arrangements, or if you haven't made your arrangements and you need to do that, this is a man who knows this very unique and very unusual field of law called elder law. And if you are approaching the, there's a great line in the play, I'm trying to remember. If you find yourself closer to the end than to the beginning, which is most of us, a good time for you to make an appointment and to chat with Mr. Siegel, one of the most knowledgeable men in his field. Barry, how are you this morning?
Steve, I'm doing great. How are you?
Excellent.
Want to hear that? Yeah, at our firm, the Siegel Law Group, we do elder law, which is protecting assets from the biggest risk we have as we grow older, the cost of long-term care. We help people get government benefits to supplement either the long-term care they do have, or if they don't have long-term care, to help pay for that high cost of care. We also do estate planning, all levels of estate planning, setting up people's revocable living trusts and wills, their important health care documents, powers of attorney, and so on. But the key message is to be prepared. We all want to be prepared, and a great analogy is what we all just experienced this past week with Hurricane Dorian. There's some people saying, well, we did all this preparation and nothing happened. Of course, the opposite of that would have been doing nothing, and God forbid something did happen, just like in the Bahamas where they were devastated. So, it's definitely I'm sure we could all agree that it's a better idea to be prepared, even if something doesn't happen, at least for a long time, that we have everything in place. So that's why we offer a free consultation and a free review of your current plan to get the ball rolling so that you will get prepared. We know people tend to put this kind of stuff off. So that's why we've been making that offer for years. One other thing I want to mention today is because of the devastation that happened in the Bahamas, on my Facebook page for Barry Siegel, I think it's on my Barry Siegel, not the Siegel Law Group. I couldn't get it on there. We have a link there to donate to the Red Cross to support the efforts there to help the people there in the Bahamas who've been devastated. So if you're interested in making a donation directly to the Red Cross, one way you could do it is to go to my Facebook page, and you can make a donation right there.
A very excellent idea. And if you want to make an appointment and avail yourself of that no-charge consultation that Barry is talking about, the number to call 1-855, that's toll free, 1-855-FLA as in Florida, 3782. 1-855-FLA 3782. Barry, great talking to you. We'll speak soon. All right, my friend?
All right. Thank you, Steve.
Okie doke. And we are back.
Oh, boy, I tell you. Oh, it was brutal yesterday. You didn't hear the first hour of the show, unfortunately.
No.
Which is the best hour of the show, actually, if you ask me. But it is. Everybody should be up and listening. Judge Jeanine was on Sebastian Gorka does a radio show. And I love Sebastian Gorka. He's very good. I agree with everything he says. But when it comes to radio, he's an amateur, and he keeps making these amateur mistakes. He made one a few weeks ago. He got some crank on the line, and they just filleted him every which way from Sunday. He didn't know what to do or how to handle him. It was pretty bad. I felt bad for him. That's okay. I'll give you some tips, Gorka. He made a big mistake yesterday with Judge Jeanine. And Judge Jeanine admitted something. She thought she was off the air, and she was on the air. And Gorka, we've had Gorka on this show. Okay, so maybe he's a great guest, but and he's not bad as a host. I've listened to his show, but he makes a lot of amateur mistakes on radio. Okay, and we've had him on the show a couple times, and maybe he got this idea from us. He live streams on YouTube like we do. Okay, the radio show. And during the break, we talk, but we know there's live streaming going on, and we don't, and the rule of thumb in broadcasting is if there is a mic around, you always assume it is on the air, and you don't say anything you would not say on the air around a mic. And even people that watch on the live streams, I mean, we may talk a little differently about different things during the breaks, but you're not getting anything out of us because we're smart. He live streams on YouTube just like we do. And he talks during the breaks just like we do. He had Judge Jeanine on as a guest, and they go to commercial break. And he's having a conversation with Judge Jeanine. She thinks is off the air. But they're not on the radio, but she's being heard on the live stream online. And he did tell her at the beginning of the conversation, oh, we're in a break now, but we're still on YouTube. but she didn't hear it. She was on the phone. And she said Fox is trying to fire her. And I'll play you the clip. And if I was the only person who had this, I probably wouldn't share it with you because I wouldn't want to get Judge Jeanine jammed up. But this is all over the internet because the liberals are jumping. I found this from a liberal news site this morning. Sebastian Gorka screwed up. And Judge Jeanine could very well be in a lot of hot water over at Fox because of Gorka. It's probably why Trump got rid of it, because he does some dumb things sometimes. Very smart guy, but, you know, a lot of these very intelligent academics have zero common sense. If you've ever known any of these people, they're very smart. They know what they're talking about. They know the issues. They're experts. They're interesting, but they have zero common sense. So this is it. Now, this is during a commercial break. It's caught on the live online stream. Judge Jeanine does not know this. She thinks this is a private conversation they're having off the air, but it was being streamed on the internet.
We'd love to have you in studio.
Oh, I love it. I would love it. Please don't let me. You know, Fox reviews everything. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, but you go.
Okay, she's already taken a jab at Fox. It gets worse though. No, they're not on Fox. He's on the radio. It's a commercial break during the radio show, and he No, I don't think it's a Fox affiliate. It may be. It doesn't matter, but it's not on the radio. He live streams on YouTube, like we're doing right now.
I heard this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here it is.
Oh, I love it. I would love it. Please don't let me. You know, Fox reviews everything. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, but you got a window, like because you've got a new book. You should have a carve out, right?
No. They are still saying you cannot do Bill O'Reilly, you cannot do Newsmax, you cannot do. Oh no.
That's a shame.
You know what? They suspended me, and I'm not.
Now, by the way, she has never confirmed that she was suspended. It's always been passed off as a vacation. So she thinks this is off the air. She doesn't realize that people are hearing this. And she confirmed, I mean, we knew it, but it was the first confirmation that she was suspended over the Omar thing on Fox. But it's worse than that.
No. They are still saying you cannot do Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, man.
Newsmax, you cannot do. Oh, no.
That's a shame.
You know what? They suspended me, and I'm not going to get fired. You know, I'm worried that suspension was the basis to tee up for anything I did wrong to fire.
Okay. So she says they're teeing up to fire her for anything they deem she does wrong. I mean, she's probably in a lot of hot water over there, and Gorka really screwed up. I mean, he really screwed up with that. That was a big mistake on his part. You don't talk.
You could tell he was very tense, and towards the end, he was kind of.
He was trying to talk over, yeah.
But he didn't realize the first thing he did was flip the switch.
Well, no, he meant for the conversation to be on the live stream online. Okay, he meant for that. That's what he does to try to get people to watch his live stream. Is you get all this off-air content, what we won't say on the air. But Judge Jeanine did not know that. She thought this was a private conversation between the two of them off the air during a commercial break. She didn't realize thousands of people were listening online, even though it wasn't on the radio, and she never would have said those things. But she may stop doing interviews for this book tour.
Do you think she gains? Take a beat before you answer this. Do you think she gains any protection by letting the audience be aware of her situation?
No. Mm-mm.
You're sure?
Yeah, none. They hate her. They hate her because she's so... Fox hates her.
Loves her. The audience
Fox doesn't care about... The management doesn't care about the audience.
Fox would be very upset. Yeah, I mean, Fox, the listeners would be very...
They don't care. They got rid of O'Reilly. They got rid of Eric Bolling. They got rid... You know, so they don't care. And, yeah, no, it doesn't give her any protection. In fact, it brings her closer to getting fired. And this book just came out. She just started doing interviews. Yeah, she'll probably only do interviews with close friends now because she doesn't want people asking about this Gorka embarrassment. Because that's the only thing to ask her about now. Fox is looking to fire you, Judge Jeanine? She's like, I mean, that's awful. You know, Gorka's screwed up. He screwed. He did try because I didn't play the whole thing. He realized what she was doing.
The end, you could tell.
Yeah, I'll play the end. And then he completely talks over her. Listen, I'll play it.
That's a shame.
You know what? They suspended me, and I'm not going to get fired. I'm worried that suspension was the basis to tee up for anything I did wrong with fire.
Keep doing what you do. Keep doing what you do. We are back in 90 seconds. Stand by, Janine.
No, you're back now, Gorka. Everybody heard it. I mean, gee whiz, he's still trying. I mean, oh. And the liberals are so excited about this because now they know they got her. See, they didn't know for sure that she got suspended over Omar. Okay, everybody knew, but it was never confirmed. Now it's like that's why you don't deal with terrorists. You don't apologize. You apologize to the liberals. What do they want? They want more. So now they know they got Fox to suspend her, and they're looking to fire her. So now she's going to become a bigger target by the left. It's pretty awful. Gorka blew it. He blew it. I mean, things happen like that. I mean, I've heard things go out over the air, but that weren't supposed to many times, but not over that kind of incompetence. I mean, sometimes people have hit the mic by accident, forgot to turn the mic off. I've heard F-bombs on national radio shows. You know, I heard Laura screaming at her technical people one day on the radio, on all of her radio stations. She didn't know she was being carried live over all of her stations, and she was screaming at them over some technical issue a couple years ago. Things like that happen, but those are just embarrassments. She's in trouble at Fox now, courtesy of Gorka.
Well, if it happens, it's certainly.
Well, she says that she confirmed the suspension and said they're looking for an excuse to fire her.
So here it is.
Yeah, so thanks, Gorka. Gorka just gave it to her. Well, she badmouthed. She said they're terrible, Fox. And then she went through all these conservative. She can't go on O'Reilly. She can't go on Newsmax. You know, and if Gorka wouldn't have interrupted, she would have listed a whole bunch of other things she couldn't have gone on. And I was curious to hear what those were. You know, but unfortunately, we didn't get that part.
All right, are we up on the break here? Okay, let me get my clock all ready here. Oh, exactly, right on the button. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. We'll be back. Talk much for a living, Steve. We'll be back right after this. Denture wearers are messy adhesives ruining the taste of your food. Is it painful?
That was pretty bad.
Does the constant denture
that was really bad for her.
You're always worried that your dentures will fall out while you're talking or laughing. Do you have sore spots?
It wasn't on the air.
These are common
Where'd you hear it?
that can be solved simply with dental implants.
That wasn't on the radio. It was
Dental Care,
just on YouTube because he live streams on YouTube.
Brighton Dental Care doesn't want cost to stop you from being able to eat the foods you love again and live in comfort. That's why, for Steve Kane listeners, they're offering implants. Get this, for just $3,500. That includes 2 implants plus a lower denture. Now, if you go to a dentist in Boca or in Aventura, they're going to charge you $6,000 for the exact same implants and denture. That's right, $6,000. But at Brighton Dental Care, just $3,500, and that includes the 2 implants plus your lower denture. Laugh and live with confidence. Call Brighton Dental Care at 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633, and online at brightondentalcare.com. Be sure to ask about special discounts for our military veterans.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online friendlytire.net.
Why don't you go with me tomorrow when I go over there and we can see what we can do.
In Senior Solutions. Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is approaching. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors and schedule your free, no obligation appointment to discuss all your Medicare options. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group.
Oh, man.
With a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with Attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
Oh, man.
All right, we are back.
Oh, boy.
Looking forward to the Gold Report today.
You're always looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah, well, look, it's been an exciting time. We can't deny it. Today should be. I love doing my. I don't look in advance.
I wouldn't do a prediction. You don't know.
I don't mind being wrong. You know, I mean, it certainly wouldn't be the first time. I would say, based on the incredible gains that have been going on in recent days, today would have to be a pullback day.
Yeah.
And an opportunity to buy. So
Yeah.
that's my prediction.
We'll find out.
We'll
You know,
find out pretty soon.
Oh, by the way, just a quick mention. I was over at Friendly Tire yesterday, and as I pulled up, one of our listeners was leaving with brand new tires on their car. Yeah, I mean, they're just the great deals over there. Just to let you guys know.
I found out I hit a nail in one of my tires, and I haven't had no spare, so I need to get a spare.
Oh no, because I went over there recently to Friendly Tire and got a spare for my Explorer, and you know the thing with the spare, I bought a used tire for the spare. Because I don't ever plan on using it, you know, and the used tires start at $30 for most cars. So yeah, that's all you do. Go over there, get a used tire for the spare. Although you can buy a new one for the spare if you'd like.
Yeah.
But that's what I do with the used tires is I use them for spares because I don't plan on ever using them, and if I do, it won't be for long. But you heard this story, the Odessa shooter. He was a convicted felon. They say he illegally bought the gun, which is technically true, but he bought the gun from a private seller. Like an individual.
Gosh, who would have thought that something like that could happen?
Well, there's some updates on this because they're investigating the guy who sold him the gun. Because if he knew this guy was a convicted felon, he had been refused legal purchase before. So if the person who sold him the gun knew he was a convicted felon, and did it, then he could be jammed up. And have all kinds of hell come down on him if he knowingly sold him a gun.
It's not going to stop people from borrowing guns. If they're sufficiently motivated, it's not going to stop them from buying guns through a friend or this and that.
Well,
you can always get your hand in the
this
gun.
one's I wouldn't know where to get one illegally.
You don't have friends that if you needed to have a gun, let's say you were being threatened or something. You needed a gun.
I would never borrow a gun from
you
someone.
You couldn't buy it through legitimate channels.
Why couldn't you?
You don't know somebody that would let you. Well, I'm saying why couldn't you? I'm saying this.
Oh, if you're a felon?
Yes. Well, if you're somebody that would be.
I would never loan a gun. I would never loan a gun to someone. I wouldn't loan a gun to my brother.
You wouldn't loan a nickel to anybody either. So that's not an example.
That's not true. That's not true. I give money to people. I would never loan a gun to anyone, including my brother. I would not sell a gun to someone privately either, ever. Never. I've got multiple brothers. My dad's been married like 6 times. I got lots of kids. I don't really know them, but we have brothers by another mothers. I've got I don't know how many brothers I have. I have I think 3. I'm not sure how many. I don't mean like my actual brother. I mean, I wouldn't loan a gun to anyone.
That's what makes the gun control.
I wouldn't loan you a gun.
That
nor sell you one.
That's what makes the gun control debate so ridiculous. Because anybody has access to that.
Well, this is new. And all the other mass shootings, the big ones, right? Parkland, Columbine Columbine, they had an illegally obtained gun because they were underage. But the other mass shootings, Although I got to look into comments. It's been a long time, 20 years. Got to look back at the details of that. But these mass shootings of late, they've all been legally purchased guns. This was the first time I've seen a mass shooting happen. I got to check in the Columbine because that's a while ago. I don't remember. I got to look back on that one. So I don't want to say Columbine. But of the other major mass shootings of late, this is the first time someone used a gun that was illegally obtained but bought through an individual. And there's no background check required through private individual sales.
It's just there's no such thing as preventing these things from happening. That's the first thing.
Well, you can make it more difficult.
You could stop, in theory, you could stop one particular event under a certain set of circumstances, but there's no way you can stop people from doing.
Well, this guy here that sold this gunman in Odessa the gun, I would, if I were on a jury with this guy, I would convict him. There's no way he didn't know this was a bad guy. The shooter out there had the tear tattoos under his eye on his face, and
well, you were, especially a guy like that, you would be thrown off by if that implies he's got gang connections. If he's got gang connections, you would assume he could get his hands on guns.
You wouldn't sell him your gun though. If a guy if you were doing a private gun sale, and a guy has 2 tear tattoos under his eyes, the tears. So far as I know, you get a tear every time you murder someone, is what the gang tears, right? Isn't that what that means? If a guy came up to me and had tear tattoos under his eyes, I would assume he was a felon and had killed people, and I wouldn't sell him my gun. I mean, I wouldn't do a gun in a private sale anyway.
If somebody wants to get their hands on a gun, they're going to be able to get their hands on a gun.
Well, but this guy, I don't think it's as easy as you think.
Purchase a trip to New York or whatever it is.
I don't think it's that easy.
Midnight, go up to Harlem and on any street corner.
That's a white neighborhood now. I don't think it's as easy as you think.
I'm telling you, it is.
I don't think so.
Well, look at all. New York has the strictest gun control laws of anyone around anywhere. I mean, what is it? The Sullivan Law is in New York.
Yeah, but you're talking about gangbangers. Gangbangers can always get guns, but
gangbangers can always get guns.
But someone without.
And gangbangers can always.
Yeah, but this guy in Texas, in Odessa, got a gun through through a private purchase. He's got tattoo tears on his face. The guy.
All that shows is the futility of thinking by the gun control laws are going to stop these things from happening.
Well, no, the guy that sold him the gun should maybe go to jail.
Well, he'll go to jail. It's not going to change anything.
It would change things. There's no background check required for private sales. I'm not opposed to background checks. But I don't know about this private sale business. I've never bought a gun privately or sold a gun privately. I have some guns that belong to my grandfather that were given to me when he passed away. But I would never. I know people that have done private purchases, and I thought it was bizarre to do a private purchase. I would never sell someone one of my guns. Never.
But you are not typical of anybody. Because you happen to be an extremely overly responsible guy and extremely overly cautious. I mean, the fact that you wouldn't sell anything again adds nothing to the debate that rages.
Well, I was at a gun store once, and I talked to this guy about this was many years ago, and there were 2 men shopping. Well, they were looking at guns, and they were both black. One was an older guy, like in his 50s, and the other one was a younger black guy. I don't know how old he was. I don't know. He looked to be old enough to buy a gun to me, but he had the pants hanging down. He looked like a thug, looked like a gangbanging thug, and they were looking at guns. And they were looking at Glocks. And to me, it looked like a straw purchase. To me, it looked like the older guy was buying the gun for the younger guy. I don't know. And I said something to the guy at the gun store. And he says, there's no way for me to know that. He says, I can't deny. He says, this 55-year-old guy, I can't deny him a gun purchase.
There you go.
Straw purchase.
Which
are illegal. Straw purchases are illegal.
It doesn't matter, but does it stop people from doing it?
I think it stops a lot of people.
I disagree with
I mean, maybe I'm just
If you're
too
determined
straight.
enough to want to do something bizarre and crazy, like one of these mass horror shows, if you're that crazy to do it, you're crazy enough to find a way to get the gun.
Well,
It's all
I think in some cases, but not in every case.
It's
I would not, if they passed a law.
every time there's one of these shootings, I wait till the story comes out.
Yeah.
They're not being as forthcoming with the stories as they used
Someone else,
to.
I would not buy a gun
Which is
privately.
another
No.
interesting thing to talk about. But
Yeah.
there's no question that if you want to get your hands on a gun, or you or anyone who does, where there is a will, there is a way for that. And it's not going to. What you can say realistically is, a gun control law might stop any one individual thing from happening, and if you want to sell it on that basis, that it could stop one, of course it's worth it, especially if the people who were killed or shot up are your people in your family. That makes it a whole different thing. But it's not going to put a dent in the problem. Not going to put a dent in the problem. In fact, it's just increasing the motivation.
Well,
sick people
in this shooting, this was done by
whoever they are.
this was done by a private sale where background checks aren't required. This is the so-called gun show loophole they're always talking about. There is not a gun show loophole. Licensed dealers at gun shows do background checks, but a lot of times people go to gun shows and do a private sale while they're walking around. Yeah, they walk around with guns for sale. Sometimes I've been to gun shows and they'll have rifles over their shoulder for sale, and you can go up to them and buy it from them. That's crazy to me.
Well, it's not crazy. What's crazy is thinking that passing a law is going to stop that.
Well, if you stopped, it might have stopped this one. If you
It
stopped,
might have stopped one here or there, but it's not going to. It'll.
well, let me give you, like, I've got a friend in Utah who's a gunsmith. And, I'm going to send him a couple of my guns to do some work on him, okay? I can't just mail them. I got to go to a licensed gun shop. He's a licensed gun dealer, okay? But I got to go to a licensed gun shop here in South Florida, and they mail the gun to him, another licensed dealer, okay? And that's cool. I'm fine with that. That's the way it should be. And this idea of private sales without background checks, bad news. It's bad news. I don't think that should be. You should not be able.
We need a good gun store. I'd like to have somebody we could.
Well, yeah, I was talking about this yesterday. This thing with Walmart with ammo and gun sales.
That's infuriating.
I have never, ever. I think that fine with me. I have never bought a gun or revolver ammo at Walmart. I have bought shotgun shells at Kmart before.
What do you think the idea?
But, well, let me finish it.
Go ahead.
I've always done my ammo purchases and my gun purchases at gun stores because they're gun experts. When you go to Walmart, they're not a gun expert. When I go to a gun store, there's different types of ammo. For one gun, there can be different types of ammo for different. So I go to a gun store, well, what do you need the ammo for? You're going hunting, you're going target shooting, protection. There's different ammo for it. The guy at Walmart doesn't know that. You know what I mean? So I like to go to gun stores and deal with like an expert. I don't think that's that's just.
Go out and get us a gun store.
Yeah, we could use a gun store sponsor.
We could also use a break, followed by our famous Gold Report with William Youngerman. We'll be back right after this. For the best wings in this town, it's Wings Plus. Wings
Steve
that
Kane
are
Show.
first grilled and then fried to make them extra crispy.
Hold on.
Served with blue cheese and celery. Try the Jamaican
Steve Kane Show.
jerk, the lemon pepper wings, the honey mustard wings,
Hey
the
there, hold
garlic
on.
wings, and 15 other varieties. That's Wings Plus, located at 98.
All right, we got some calls after the Gold Report, so.
With the politically elite meat.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of My Pillow. And like all of you out there, I have problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat. I would flip.
How much is the topper?
Maybe a headache or feel like I needed a nap.
I'm not sure. It's not cheap. I don't know. But we get a big discount on it.
But it's not expensive.
It's not as much as the mattress.
Regardless of sleep position, My Pillow will get you into that deep sleep faster and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time you spend in bed, it's about how much
Is it just one sheet?
I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States.
I don't know.
10-year warranty. You can wash and dry My Pillow, and I give you a 60-day money
I can't get a hold of him.
Free shipping when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, or call 1-800-716-4879 and give them promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and receive 2 MyPillow premium pillows for one low price. Again, use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com or 1-800-716-4879 for this fantastic offer.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world is mypillow.com.
Trying to. Okay. Got him.
All your Medicare options.
And we got calls too after that. So.
8080 954-753-8080.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, the moment has come. The Gold Report, brought to you by William Youngerman of William Youngerman Inc. William, as you know, one of the world's leading experts when it comes to the precious metals. Those of you who have followed my advice and listened to William's advice have certainly benefited from it. He's been a sponsor of the Steve Kane Show now for over 15, I think something like 16 plus years. And we are so pleased to be able to bring you this wonderful Gold Report each and every morning. William, what's going on today?
Steve, exciting times in the precious metals. Yesterday we saw multi-year highs hit for gold and silver, and gold getting up to 1557.70 as a breakout from that 55.50 that we've been bouncing off of and going back down for several weeks now. That gold getting up to 1557.70 yesterday. That's a over 6-year high now. Just in the last 30 days, we've seen gold rise 6%. That's a $91 gain in just the last 30 days. Gold closing yesterday backed off of those highs as would be expected and was selling pressure, but still managed to close up $5.30 at $1,552 the ounce. Silver getting up to $19.73, nearly hitting our target of $20 before backing off to $19.57. That's still up 34 cents on the day. $3 gain over the last 30 days on silver, 18% gain just in 30 days. The high, as I said, got up to 1973, closing yesterday at $19.57, up 34 cents. Platinum was up $27, $984 on the close yesterday for platinum. That's up almost $400 from the lows that we saw this year. Palladium was up $16, closing at $1,539. So the market on gold alone so far this year is up about 30%, Steve. That's about over a $300 gain for gold this year. Silver or gold this morning backing off as we would expect on a nice move like that, giving us a little bit of a buying opportunity on a day. $16 down right now at $1,536. What we are seeing in gold is higher highs and higher lows. So this is an opportunity to get in there and take advantage of gold and silver. Silver down 40 cents this morning at $19.17 the ounce. Platinum down $8 at $9.76, and palladium is up $9 at $15.48. So good day to come in and take advantage of a little bit of a pullback on the precious metals.
Absolutely. And William, also a good day not only to purchase precious metals, but perhaps to take some of the precious metals you may have lying around in another form, like a candelabra or silverware set, anything that's precious metals. William, you are in the market to buy it, right?
Yes, for over 50 years we've made two-way markets in all of the precious metals, regardless of the form that they're in. So if you've got old jewelry, watches, silverware, things of that nature that are just you're not using and not enjoying, you can come in. You can trade in some of that old jewelry for beautiful estate jewelry that we have in stock at
just basically the gold value, and walk out wearing something that you enjoy wearing, or something new, or just take the cash. And for Steve Kane listeners, you always get a free appraisal at William Youngerman Incorporated.
William, if they want to drop by and mention our name, by the way, John over there and David are always there to help Steve Kane listeners. They'd be more than happy to help you out. Just ask for them, tell them you listen to the Steve Kane Show, and drop by today. A good day to purchase today. Located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. That's the Bank of America building. Williams on the first floor, directly across from the bank. You can reach him by phone at 1-800-327-5010, or go to the website at williamyoungerman.com. William, we'll wind up the week tomorrow, all right? You take care, and we are back.
Yeah, now for good phones, I just say what I'm saying is, the way it should be for private purchases, it should be like when I got to mail my friend the gun. You should have to go to a licensed gun dealer and let them do a background check. There's no background, and plus, anyone who sells guns to a guy with tear tattoos on his face, come on. It's out there. Anyway, good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Steve Carey from Carl Springs. How are you
Steve
doing?
Kane Show.
How are you doing, Carey?
Good, doing well. Just very quickly, I concealed weapons permit on them. That's current.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If they
I didn't
don't
know
have
that.
I won't even entertain.
Well, this.
And that's
All right, but I mean, that's not the question.
I didn't know
The
that. That's
question
good,
as I
good
see
information.
it is
All right, well, thanks a lot. I'll
passing laws in any meaningful way going to stop what's going on out
Yes.
there? This craziness?
Sure.
I asked Karen. And that's not going to happen either. You'd have a revolutionary war in your hands.
Please. Now, somebody just called me off the air and told me this is something I'm not aware of, that in Florida, to sell a gun in a private purchase, I don't know this to be true, but they told me you have to be a concealed weapon permit holder to sell a gun in a private purchase, and you have to have a bill of sale. I never heard that.
I request that, but it's not mandated.
Yeah, I've never heard that either.
There's a form to fill out. It's just a piece of paper.
Now, I was on the phone when you made your comment, so if I'm asking you something you said, it's this idea of no background check in private sales to me seems insane. But selling a gun to a guy with 2 tear tattoos on his face, to me,
We all agree with that, but that doesn't.
I'm not.
Common enough to make.
Private sales are very common. I mean, what do you?
But not tattoos with tears on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do you think people should be able to do private sales without background checks, or should they be required, like when you mail a gun, to go to a licensed gun dealer and have one done there?
My Cruz went to my friend's shop in Carl Springs to get out.
Oh, the Parkland shooter.
Yeah, he was thrown out. Just didn't like the way he was acting, his questions, and you have the right to refuse a sale.
Your friend has a shop in, what did you say, Coral Springs?
Yeah. I don't want to get too many.
Doesn't want to get him in trouble because of the cruise thing.
No, I understand.
Well, I told you that time I saw Nicholas Cruz, I mean, he scared the hell out of you. And the school over there, in fact, he was so scary, the cop was afraid to go in, right? Because he knew him. Yeah, whoever sold Nicholas Cruz guns was also an irresponsible gun seller. Because, I mean, I saw him that time at the Wawa. He was short guy, creepy and terrifying. Scared that I was looking over my shoulder and this was before the shooting, obviously, because it was a Wawa.
Their eyes tell a lot.
That's right. That's all right. Thanks for the call. All right, Richie.
Yeah, there's a black market, Brian. I think you're naive, and Steve's right. Any extra laws won't help. One thing that's happened or will happen, and by the way, I don't want to throw this at you, but you saw Dr.
Lamaski, yeah. That's right. I didn't have psychological issues. Going to therapy doesn't mean you're mentally ill.
Dr. Lamaski was a life coach.
It's not mental. I'm not mentally ill, Richie. Oh my goodness. We're out of time. I want to thank people. I could talk to him about that, but we're out of time.
All right. Oh, just when it was getting good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we will see you tomorrow. TGIF Friday. Going to be a wild show. Be sure not to miss it. Until tomorrow, 6 a.m. On behalf of Brian, I'm Steve. God bless America.
Jeez. All right, Facebook. See you guys later. Take care. All right, YouTube. I'll see you later. Hold on.
Are they trolling for guns?